Good evening and welcome to the Nxtgen GT3 Round 1, brought to you live from Fuji here in Japan. I am James Parfitt, and with me in the booth tonight will be Matt Zeniith, who's going to be joining me on the mic to bring you all the action for this epic Round 1 race. Track length tonight, 4.46 kilometers an hour, and set in Oyama, just in Japan there as well. And you're in for an absolute epic treat of racing this evening. We have currently got 26 cars on track for you this evening, and it's going to be an absolute crazy evening of racing. The sessions tonight will be, we're going to have qualifying session for 20 minutes, which will be open, and then we're going to be in a sprint race, which will be the results from quali for 15 minutes. After that, we will change sessions to go into a 10-minute warm-up, followed by a 1-hour feature race. The grid order will be a full reverse from the sprint race that will happen right now. Okay, so that's where we're going to be doing. Now, the rules and regulations here as well. We have got pit stops for the feature race. All drivers are expected and will have to make a pit stop in the feature race for fuel. Changing tyres will not be mandatory, and this will be the driver's choice whether they do and go and change them. Okay, so the schedule, we've got round 1 tonight here at Fuji. Round 2 will be Road America. Round 3 on the 5th of October will be Silverstone. Round 4 will be Imola. Round 5 will be at Spa on the 19th of October. Round 6 on the 26th of October in Sebring. Round 7 on the 2nd of November will be at Montreal. And round 8 will be at Nords Combined on the 9th of November. Now, out of them races, rounds 2, 5 and 8 will be 2-hour endurance races. So the next race at Road America will be a 2-hour endurance race. Okay, so make sure you tune in, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and turn on the bells for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of this action this evening. Now it's about time that we brought Matt into the booth. Matt, how are you, young sir? Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's going to be something that these guys are going to have to get used to here today, because I think at the end of the day, Oyama is one of them tracks that, you know, it's not been long, Fuji's not been long on the calendar here in iRacing. And I think, you know, it's a Marmite track, Matt, to be fair. People either love it or they hate it. And we'll have to see how they get on tonight. But we do have 2 races, so they kind of do have 2 cracks at the whip almost, you know, to see how they get on, you know, and I think that's an important thing.
Exactly. This is one of those tracks. Looks can be deceiving. So it looks pretty simple, but some of those hairpin turns can catch out a few, even the experienced drivers in this race. And as we're looking at the points, 18 points are up for grabs today in this sprint, first place, 15 for second, 13 points for third, and then all the way back down to 1 once you hit 15th.
Yeah,
There's a lot of points up for grabs.
Absolutely, and then they go into the feature race where they get 25 for first, 21 for second, and 19 for third, all the way, as you say, down into 15th place where they get 1 point. So there's a lot up for grabs tonight from these guys. You know, they've got to really put the effort in and go as much as possible for 2 races.
This is not an easy track, and it's not going to be an easy day. Round 1 is always the most nerve-wracking and the most important when it comes to racing. You get round 1, you get your foot in the door, you're set for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have currently as well, we do have classes in each race. Okay, so there will be classes in each one. So we do have a gold, a silver, and a bronze class tonight as well. Unfortunately, we will not be able to show you what class the drivers are in currently. There is a problem with the timing software that we cannot resolve while we are live, so it will have to be done outside of that, but we will try and bring you up all the information as much as possible. Okay, so we will keep you on track with what is actually going on here this evening. Now, the drivers just have had their driver briefing, and they are back out on track. We do have 3 minutes left of practice. You know, we've got corner names such as Coca-Cola Corner, 100R, the Hairpin, 300R and Dunlop Corner here tonight, and a total of 14 corners. Any manual BOPs in this series, there isn't. I am on the understanding. I've read through the rules and can't physically see anything on BOPs, so with the card choices that they've got as well. The card choices are selected, their card choice for the season. You cannot change in between races for that round. E.g., you can't pick the Audi for the sprint and then change to the BMW. So you're not able to do that. So there you go. That's basically, they've got to stick with what they've got. Mr. Hedgecock, in YouTube, your voice levels are tad off, chat. Matt's louder than me. Well, that's a first. Blimey.
That's how it feels. New guy comes in and I'm already louder.
Yeah, I know. Check you out, mate. You know what I mean?
Honestly, you're feeling good.
Oh, tell me about it. But there you go. Let me know if that is all good for you, Mr. Adam Hedgecock. I hope you are well and having a fabulous day this evening. As I say, we've got about 1 minute 50 on the clock left of practice. You know, these drivers are going to be sort of nervous. It's the opening round of the season, Matt. You know, they want to get as much points as possible, but they've got to kind of avoid the traffic and the grief that comes with it.
Exactly. There can be a little bit of strategy going as well. I mean, we can always see someone maybe purposefully doing a little bit bad in the first race, only getting a few points, and then maybe catching some of the drivers a little bit off guard. So I'm going to see if anyone's going to do some of that. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Dad as well is doing pretty good in the practice. He's going to be good to look out for. He's currently first on the fastest lap, so we're going to have to see. But it's going to be an interesting race, and it's going to be an interesting series. 8 rounds over 8 weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to be interesting, and I hope everyone watching at home is excited.
Yeah, they definitely will be, and at the end of the day, they've got to try and you know, keep the car on the track, which is the most important thing, I think, at the end of the day, because if they don't keep it on track, they don't score any points, and if they don't get the top 15, they don't get any points either. So, you know, we're just going to have to see how it pans out for these guys this evening. And hopefully, touch wood, fingers crossed, and everything else will all work out okay. We hope.
Exactly, yeah. We gotta just hope and pray, James. Hope and pray. No one crashes.
Well, yeah, that's my fear, but I'm sure these guys are sensible enough where they won't, you know, go and crash.
Let's hope.
You know, they're not too silly, so you know, hopefully they'll keep it clean and be able to, you know, keep it on track at the end of the day, because that's what they want to be able to do. So there we go. Hopefully we should be all good and everybody should be nice and sensible and keep it on track.
Looking a little bit rough on the practice there. Someone seems to miss a bit of a turn. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the actual race. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, obviously looking out for Dadswell, Fletcher, some of the early names. Who do you think? Who have you got your eye on, James?
Well, out of the gold drivers at the moment, you've obviously got Mark Fletcher, Benjamin Klutsky, Jamie Dorey, Stephen Vessels. You know, they're all top-class drivers. So, you know, any one of them can really take pole. You know, in the silvers, I got, you know, my friend Adam Hedgecock. He's currently in the silvers as well. So that'd be interesting. And, of course, we've got Mark Sykes, who's in the bronze, who's also one of the guys of the admin in here. So, you know, there's a lot of possibilities for these guys. Do I fancy having a punt at who's good, who's going to win? Absolutely not.
I think we should. I think we should. Cast is cursed. We got to do it.
No, I'm gonna. If I really.
Well, if you're not gonna punt, I will. I'm gonna say Jamie Dorey. I've got high hopes for him. He looked good in the practice. I'm feeling it.
All right. Okay. Well, you can go with Jamie Dorey. Oh dearie me.
I've put you on the spot now, James.
Oh, dearie me. I'm trying to... Can we have a minute and then see after how this pans out? Because, you know, I do like the idea that, if I have to pick, I'm going to go with Mark Fletcher.
Mark Fletcher, okay.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
And if he spins or breaks down, then, well, yeah, that's all on me.
Yeah, bit of a caster's curse. It always happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Biggles, we had that same thing in Rocket League. We cursed every team we predicted, but it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Arrowsmith has said, I'll go Jamie Dorey, but that's because he will beat me up if I don't. Okay, mate. Fair one there, bud. I'd have a punt and say Fletcher or Danes for the race win. Yeah, I think
Danes is interesting.
I think Fletcher's got the opportunity to get the race win. So I think I would be looking at Fletcher as well. You know, they've got as you say, anybody can really win, and I think it's going to be how they all manage the traffic and getting the passes done without trying to, you know, put themselves out of contention almost. You know what I mean? Because that's the last thing they want to do.
It's the worst thing. You're going past. You think you're going to pass someone, then you're just all the way out. That's the worst thing that can happen to a racer. It's happened many a time in both sim racing and real racing. It happens way too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone here seems pretty sensible. They're looking fine in the practice, so we're gonna have to. We think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan anyway. So hopefully we won't have any issues here with 17 minutes left of quali. You can see him flickering around on the bottom of your screen, guys, as well, so you can see how your favorite drivers are doing. Obviously, green means they're doing their fastest sectors, purple means they're fastest overall, and yellow means there's no current improvement. As we can see, Adam Hedgecock currently on a 2 double green sector as he's coming around the final corner. So hopefully Mr. Hedgecock will get his stuff sorted out and be able to do all the things he needs to be able to get that car up.
Let's hope so. I mean, he's looking pretty good. Jamie Dory currently on a 2 double green and a purple in the end there, so he's looking pretty strong. My prediction's looking kind of tight here, but we'll have to see what happens. He has a 1:33.540, which is good time. Being out Sykes, Hedgecock, and Tack straight away. Papayola coming in with a 0.342.
Yeah, Gazza Williams. Yeah, Williams as well on a 1:32.69. So, you know, he's not exactly going to be no slouch. Dadswell's just gone on to pole on a 1:32.49. So Dadswell there as well is flying along currently on a 1:32.49, fastest overall. Perone has just gone fastest in Sector 1 and Sector 2 and went across the line and popped it onto second place.
0.009 behind Dadswell. That has gotta hurt being that close.
Yeah, it's nothing in it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they got
less than
0
a thousandth of a second. We're seeing Peroni coming in second, Williams coming in third. Danes came in fourth while we were talking. That's looking different. Benbick down there in 16, not doing great, but he's got some chances to catch up. Meacham coming in just above him. We're seeing all kinds of times going out.
Yeah, I think they're going to be putting them in as it goes on during the session as well. They're going to get faster and faster and faster. So it'll be good to see how these guys get on here tonight. Go Sykes, says Elwin in YouTube. Well, Mark Sykes, you know, currently, yeah, he's in 9th place. So there is Mark there at the moment.
It's respectable.
Yeah, it's respectable. It's going to be no issues for him, hopefully.
They've still got 15 minutes on this qualifying, so they've still got time.
Yeah, exactly. So they shouldn't have too much of a problem, I hope. Exactly. And they should be able to do very well with 15 minutes to go here. So, yeah. Oh, hello. Where's that popping up from? Thank you very much. I'm not quite sure where that come from. Just ignore the Microsoft Office. I do love a good old PC random thing that it does in the middle.
Love it.
Yeah, live TV. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from just to have a random bit pop up in the middle, which is amazing. So there you go. But 14 minutes left as well. You know, some of the tracks on this series are going to be quite spicy. Road America is always a good one going down into turn 5 off the Marine Straight. Silverstone as well. Oh, hello. Something else has popped up, decided that he wants to
go. If I remember correctly, Road America is our endurance race, isn't it?
Yeah, Road America will be the 2-hour endurance series. So
that's going to be interesting then.
Yeah, absolutely. As I managed to try and clear all these things that keep popping up on my screen. Bless it. Yeah, Road America is the endurance. Silverstone, obviously we got the GP, which would be the normal Imola, and then Spa round 2, 5, and 8. So, yeah, there will be the endurance series, and hopefully there shouldn't be any issues for them guys in the endurance. It's a little bit worrying at the end of the day, endurance races, because they are 2 hours long, and
Exactly.
can cause some mass problems, can't they?
Yeah, I mean the main aim of the game in an endurance race is consistency. You don't have to be the fastest. If you're the most consistent, you're probably gonna win. So as long as you can keep that line straight, keep going around those turns, get those passes, you're gonna do well in an endurance race.
Well, yeah, we hope that people do well, because the last thing we want to see is anybody crash out or do anything crazy and be wreck their endurance race right at the beginning, because at the end of the day they kind of want to survive.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, preferably everyone would survive this. I mean, dying on track isn't always the best thing, but
No, I think that's going to be one of the things that they want to try and avoid. And Fuji is quite a tricky circuit,
it is, it is.
so they're going to want to try and avoid as much as possible any incidents, and just kind of hope for the best that they can get through without any problems, really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is one of those deceptive tracks. It looks easy when you get onto it. The nerves can get to you. Especially being the first race in the series, the nerves are going to be something that gets to everyone. I mean, we've seen a lot of good times coming out though, so it's gonna be a good race today.
Well, yeah, hopefully they will all be flying and not have any problems.
I
Touch wood.
mean,
Nobody's going to do
touch
anything
wood, yeah.
silly. Nobody's going to do
Flying in the
anything silly.
figurative sense.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want people turning around having a crash on turn one, because they're going to just be sitting back. But we do only have a 15-minute sprint, so there you go. It's something that they're going to have to race for, aren't they, in the 15 minutes?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the margin for error is pretty high in a sprint race, so it's definitely going to be difficult for these riders. I mean, Dadswell definitely putting a bit of a target on his back, so coming out first in this qualifier. So we're going to have to see what happens there. Maybe could be some targeting going on.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. And see how he does. Are you still going with Dory?
I think I'm still going to go with Dory. He's having a bit of a rough. He's at ninth at the moment, but he's not doing too bad. I'm still going to go with Dory. I've got faith.
Oh, okay, well, hopefully then, as we come into the last 11 minutes of quali, we will still have, Dory for the win and Fletcher for me, I think it's going to be. Got to be Fletcher. I think he's going to go and win tonight. I say.
I mean, let's see. Let's see.
Well, there's no reason, he shouldn't. Is there really? Should there be? You know? Bar anything crazy?
Yeah. I mean, crashes are always exciting, but they're not the best thing to watch.
No, and we kind of want to stay away from them. But I'm sure
Yeah.
these are all capable drivers, Matt. And I think at the end of the day, they will quite happily stay where they need to be. And I think they can, do the business tonight. I don't think anybody is overly silly or overly stupid. And I think they'll go ahead and smash what they need to do, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a gold class driver. I mean, some of these drivers have been driving for what, more than 8 years. Some since the PlayStation 2 era. So they've got a lot of experience under their belts. I mean, 8 years, 3 years. I think the shortest one I saw was 18 months, which is still a very long time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to go through to get to this point that these guys have done. Mark Fletcher coming out with a purple as well. That's going to be interesting. Your favorite?
Yeah, I think Mark's going to do it.
He could do.
I think Mark is in the opportunity of doing it, and he will
Oh,
get
just
it done.
under. He comes in third.
Oh, I have complete and utter faith in Mark. I don't doubt that he will do it and get the job done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows? Also, is Dadswell? Where's Dadswell gone? What's happened to him?
Is chopping down the order.
Oh,
So he's currently. Oh, where
is
is
it
he?
just me, or has the scores vanished?
Yeah, I think the scores has completely vanished here. So
Mysterious case of the disappearing driver, apparently.
disappearing Dadswell.
Disappearing Dadswell.
Yeah.
Can we get a disappearing Dadswell in the chat, guys?
Yeah, that would be ideal, I think, at the end of the day. Poor old Dadswell has kind of disappeared. Hopefully there's no technical issues that he cannot manage to resolve. So let's just hope and pray that Dadswell can sort his stuff out and get back on track. I am hoping and praying that I can manage to get the timing software sorted out because I'm doing 4 things at the same time, and hopefully it will all work. He says, with,
Let's hope so.
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Unfortunately, with the wonderful world of live TV, um,
Exactly.
you
Oh,
have,
we're seeing Dadswell back now. I think he's back.
yeah, you have these issues, and unfortunately, they don't always love being live. It's incredibly frustrating, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean it always happens. Dory coming out with a triple green there. That's always nice to see.
Mm, um, so
We're seeing Papayola coming around. Sykes, one of the admin team. We got Hedgecock. Dadswell's back at the top. There he is.
nah,
Currently
Tom
looking at
Dadswell.
Dadswell, Peroni, Fletcher, Williams, and Watson for the top 5. All pretty close together, all within 2/100ths of a second. Or 2/10ths of a second, I believe that is. I'm not quite sure about time. I don't know how to read a clock. Dory's dropping down to 11th. That's a bit rough for him. We got Scott down 20th, Baker, then Albanese, Stark, Oliveira, Sykes up in 15th. There's a lot of people coming around here. There's a lot of scores. It's coming
Yeah,
around.
I think that's the thing as well. I think that, these guys are really going to be putting in the effort overall. Evening roll, there are no car or engine sounds on stream. Anyone else got the same commentary is fine. Yes, we have resolved that issue. Thank you very much for that. Just let me know that you can all hear that quite happily, and no issues. That will be absolutely incredible. As I say, we are trying to resolve some technical issues at the same time as trying to do what we are doing here as well. So just give us 2 seconds. We will try and get all these sorted out. Love the world of tech and live TV, but we are trying our hardest here to get them sorted out in the background, and hopefully we will bring you all sorted out within the next 6 minutes of quality, as long as we can manage to get through the race without any more issues. I will be happy.
It seems like it's working fine. I mean, Dadswell's definitely Pironi's actually closed the gap a little bit, I believe, coming at 0.075 behind Dadswell. I believe we saw Steinman coming in with a double purple there for a second. He was looking pretty strong. And we got top 20 coming in. We got 6 minutes remaining on this qualifier.
All of them are gold.
It's looking like Dadswell's going to take pole at the moment. There's still 5 minutes left, so there's plenty of time, but Dadswell's looking like he might take it.
Yeah, 1:32.42 from Tom Dadswell. He's flying along quite happily at the moment. I think he's got an opportunity. I think he's got the opportunity that he can go ahead and probably do it, but he's kind of got to be, how can I put it, a little bit sensible, isn't he, really?
He has, yeah, he has got to be sensible. You got that right. He's got his lead. He needs to hold on to it. He can't get cocky. Is what he's got to do.
Well, yeah, and that's the hardest thing, isn't it, for anyone, is not being cocky, because, he's taken pole, and hopefully he will, manage to stay there, should we say, quite happily, and not cause any issues for himself.
Exactly.
But he is leading the field away, I suppose. So, at the end of the day, if Dadswell could do it, I think Dadswell's good at have this all wrapped up and done and dusted. So
exactly. But then again, when it comes to the sprint, it's anyone's game. I've seen miracles happen before. I've seen someone from the 20 position manage to come out and get top 3. So anything can really happen.
I think that's always the thing with racing. You can have that, and they will manage to come through and take the victory. So there you go. But hopefully, yeah, it's working now. Carl already good. Thank you, Lee, for that as well. As I say, that's been a few little bit of tech issues going on, and there was a slight panic earlier on as well, because something wasn't working and wasn't due to be repaired, but it's touched wood, it has managed to get itself sorted out. So we are back up and running. And
certainly looks like it.
Yeah, it certainly does, doesn't it? Well, it's always good, I think. So, let's just fingers crossed. Yeah,
fingers crossed, guys. Cross your fingers.
Yeah, cross your fingers. So, yeah, I don't know.
Take a breather, James. Take a breather. We're just in the qualifier. It's not the time to get excited. It's just a qualifier.
Yeah,
Rafael Santos coming with the green.
Yeah, Rafael Santos there is currently 8th overall. Down in the gold, so we managed to get the classes working. So we got the gold, the silver, and the bronze as well. So hopefully this will, I'm sure it'll be fine. Even I get nervous before doing any of these on the first one.
It'll be fine, James.
Yeah,
It'll be fine. We got this. We
got
got this,
this.
James.
Yeah. Don't forget, guys, as well, you can follow us on the Nxtgen TV YouTube channel or over at JPB Broadcasting. They are all broadcasting this race as well. And if you are here, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. Turn on the bells for notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of the action that's going to be coming to you on this series. As I say, it's going to be absolutely incredible. And what more could you ask for than a 2-hour endurance at Road America on the 28th, which is next week. Different prospect, aren't they, these endurance races?
Different prospect. Those endurance races are tough. Sprint races can be tougher. We'll have to see what happens. And that endurance race obviously is going to be influenced a lot by this. Morale is something that's a little bit underwrapped when it comes to sports and racing. If you do good in your first round, there's a good chance you're going to do good in the second one because you're already feeling high, you're already feeling confident. Once you've got that confidence behind you, it's a lot easier to get further.
Yeah, of course, it's anything, isn't it? You know, the more hype, the more sort of confident you get at doing what you do pretty much every single week, week in, week out. You know, there's no reason why any of these drivers should have any issues, is there really?
Exactly. I mean, mistakes do happen. I mean, even with these gold class drivers, mistakes can very easily happen. So hopefully we don't see any of that. But like as you've said, they're all pretty smart. There's not been too much wrong so far. So let's hope and pray.
Well, yeah, that's all we can do is hope and pray, and it'll be fine. I'm sure it will be wonderfully fine for these guys here tonight on the 1:31 left of qualifying. So it's all good in the hood this evening, and everybody is now up and running, and everything is working. So there we go.
It's looking like it's going to be people's final lap coming in with only 1 minute left to qualifying. Danswell widening the gap even further. They're hitting 1:32.345. That's looking good for him. Baroni and Fletcher still in second and third. Williams and Watson keeping up the rear in fourth and fifth, mere thousands of seconds away from each other. And down in the silver class, Scott we saw jump up from 20th to 14th a little while ago, doing pretty good there, followed by Doherty, Stock and Sykes. So it's looking like a close race. Everyone's pretty close together. There's not really too much in it at the moment, James.
No, and I think this is more important. We've still got class leaders and second and thirds together. You know, we've got the likes of Adam Hedgecock, who's leading the silver, with Paul Williams and Paul Scott behind him. We've got Darren Doherty, Nigel Stock and Mark Sykes all leading the bronze. You know, so there are sort of, these guys are all stuck all together within this, you know, race itself. So you're not going to be almost like getting left on your own, if you get what I mean. You know,
Exactly.
You're not going to be racing nobody. Excuse me. You are going to be racing somebody, and I think that's the joys of class racing, really.
Yeah, exactly. Class racing is definitely a more fun way to do it, I have to say. It makes it a lot more interesting. You've got three different leaders all battling out against their own classes.
Absolutely. We have come to the end of our quali time. So when we get the grid results up and running, we will bring you all the grid for tonight, which I'm excited about. So I just have to see what happens tonight, because this first race is going to be 15 minutes. So, you know, there's all to play for, but they've also got to keep it on track, which is more important.
Exactly. Let's hit some support in the chat. Who's your favourite driver?
Yeah, let us know.
Let's see some names coming up in chat.
Let us know who is your favourite driver, who you're rooting for, who you think's going to win overall.
And obviously, I've got my pick of Jamie Dory. You were going with Fletcher.
Yep.
Maybe a wrong decision there.
You would say that already because you're hoping Dory wins, but you know.
Of course. I'm going with Dory. I mean,
yeah. No, it can't be. Can't be Dory. Fletcher's going to come through.
I mean, I just hope he's got a better memory than the fish in Finding Nemo.
Yeah. And hopefully he knows his way around the track as well. So there we go. Verana Motorsports is the best team there. All their drivers are the best. Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
Well, let's hear it up for Verana Motorsport.
Yeah. says Sean Cranley Swash in chat. Welcome in, Sean. I hope you're well. We are just waiting for the overall quali results to come through. And
we've got a pretty good turnout here today. We've got 19 viewers across both broadcasts. We're doing pretty good today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah. Tom Dadwell says Tom Dadwell, funny enough. You know, you are top, mate, so I'm not surprised at that one. But, you know, look, anything can happen going down into this tight right-hander in the first corner. So don't count your chickens before they hatch, Mr. Dadwell. That's all I can say for that.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Tom Dadswell could have maybe signed his own death warrant there with that. Maybe getting a little bit hasty. I guess we'll have to see.
He's getting a little bit excited. Right, so we're still waiting for the results to come through. They have just come up now. Here is the overall qualifying positions. Tom Dadswell in first, Gianni Peroni in second, Mark Fletcher third, Gazza Williams fourth, Adam Watson fifth, Chris Daines in sixth, Rafael Santos in seventh, Benji McCluskey eighth, Jamie Dory ninth, Gavin Gardner 10th, Simon Papajola in 11th. That is rounding out the final classes in gold. In silver, we got Adam Hedgecock, Paul Williams, Paul Scott in 14th, Darren Doherty in 15th, Nigel Stock in 16th, Mark Sykes 17th, Samuel de Oliveira in 18th, Stefan Albanese in 19th, Mark Baker in 20th. Then we got Daniel Sutzman in 21st, Robert Adams 22nd, Baz Meacham 23rd, Liam Tack 24th, Igor Bembik in 25th, and Camelo Martello in 26th place. So there we go, all in 26th. We have got half a lap, well, about a quarter of a lap of under pace car before we go into the first 15-minute sprint race. All Attitude Esports cars, said Adam Watson. Well, that's Adam Hedgecock, Darren Doherty, so that should be an interesting one. Gavin Gardner for the Verano and Chris Daines in Verano as well. Mark Fletcher so is Altitude Esports as well. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've got Dadswell and Peroni for UK and I. Looking pretty good up in the top two. Maybe they could be working together. Who knows? We got. It's going to be interesting. We've got a good grid here, and as you said, the quarter track, I believe, is going to be under the pace car, and after that is when you're going to see the real action happening.
Yeah, and let's hope they can all manage to get through turn one successfully and not have any problems whatsoever. We will keep an eye on that one so we can see here, bring you all the action as we're just waiting for Carmelo Martello to jump onto track. Which I don't think he's going to make it.
Who knows?
No, Tom Dadswell from Altitude Esports. Is he going to win? Time will tell. And the time is now. As we go on board, we're going to start rather slowly, round turn 11.
It's going to be interesting to see this, James. It's going to be very interesting. You can feel the anticipation building as we're behind the pace car.
Oh, definitely. These drivers are going to be sitting there sweating. You know, they're going to be getting nervous. They're going to be getting edgy. They want to get going, but they can't. So they're going to try and do what they can. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
A little bit of a show lap. It looks like a bit of a procession at the moment. That's always fun to see.
Yeah, pace car's going to be in. Dadswell will effectively become the leader.
Exactly, yeah. And Peroni and Fletcher just behind. William, Daines and Watson hitting up 4th, 5th and 6th. It's gonna be interesting. Obviously Papaiola and Gardner drawing at the back for the gold class cars.
Yeah.
And we've got Hedgecock coming up top for the silver and Stock still at top for the bronze, so
Pace car is in. Bunching everybody up. Here we go. You're gonna have
ready, James?
it.
You ready?
No, I'm not.
You ready?
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
But
I'm not ready
we're
either.
gonna go.
There we go. Oh, they're gonna start going.
It's gotta run down. Oh, he's leaving his leg.
Oh.
It's green. They're green.
They're green.
Round one from Fuji is underway. And currently Tom Dadswell is leading us down into first place. Mark Fletcher is in second as they go round the right-hander on turn one. before they're racing up to turn 3, which is Coca-Cola corner here at Fuji. Currently, everybody's got away cleanly. There has been no major dramas here currently at the moment, and anything is possible. Yeah, Dadswell is out in front, Fletcher in second, and then we've got Peroni in third. So there we go, all fairly clean, touch wood so far.
It's looking pretty good, it's looking pretty good. We made it past first turn, we've gone past Coca-Cola corner. You're going to see how it's going here. Dadswell keeping the lead so far, almost a full second ahead of Fletcher. Peroni dropping down back to third. Seeing Watson fourth, Sanchez in fifth. It's looking strong. Dory down to 11th. That's not what I like to see. Dory, you were my favourite, Dory. But you can catch up, I got faith. So we've still got Hedgecock on top, so we've got Doherty on top of Bronze taking over Sykes there, apologies. Caught my throat there. Come around, got another turn. That's going to be tight. They all seem to make it so far. Dadswell keeping that racing line nice and tight, coming around the apex there.
Yeah, but all the while,
he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, the good thing for Dadswell is he's managing to get away, and then you've got Mark Fletcher and Peroni are currently having an interesting battle. We've had Robert Adams off track, Mark Baker's been off as well, but as they were at the moment, Dadswell, Fletcher, Peroni, Watson, DeSantis, Danes and Williams are all here leading the field away. You can see the gap on the right hand side is back from the leader. We can tell you and show you where they're at in conjunction with each other. So there is the information, and there we go. That is Peroni past Fletcher down into turn 1. That's going to be the parking place. That's going to be the passing place tonight, I think, man.
That was a nice little pass there. That was a little sneaky by Peroni, but he's doing good. He's doing good.
Yeah,
Dory managed to pass out Papaiola. I'm gonna keep calling out Dory because Dory's my man.
Yeah, there was battles all the way through the field. Rafael DeSantis has just been passed by Chris Danes. Danes is on the left-hand side. Trying on your screen at the moment is trying to get through. Car number 111 is climbing all over the back of DeSantis as they're coming round now. Round the long right-hander, they're gonna...
Whoever said racing wasn't exciting, because Jesus, that was tight.
Yeah, they are.
That was tough there.
Yeah, they definitely don't go, they don't hang around. Whoa, it's up in the air!
Got his crash!
Oh, is he
was
gonna...
that DeSantis?
Yeah, DeSantis just literally...
Oh, no.
There's a curb on the inside that he's gone and absolutely punted up into the air. And unfortunately for him, that's put him all the way down the field in 24th place, along being chased down by Mark Baker, who's going to be coming around behind him. But this is how DeSantis went up in the air. Oh, that's a little bit before that, actually. We'll just go a little bit before that. Here we go. If you see him hit the curb, he will just bounce off the curb.
Right there.
Yeah, he just goes up in the air. He comes around the outside, off the sausage curb, and that is DeSantis round and out, unfortunately. So DeSantis there is coming, bringing it into the pits. Nice little interesting pockets of battles up front. Peroni and Fletcher and Watson are less than a second apart currently. Then they've got 2.5 second gap back to Danes here this evening. Williams, McCluskey, Gardner, Dory and Papaiola round out the top 10. But they haven't got long, Matt, have they? They've only got 11 minutes to get moving forward.
11 minutes is not a lot of time, especially when you think about it. 11 minutes. There's not a lot of chances around the track. There's not a lot of chances you can pass, so we're gonna have to see how they're doing. Obviously, there's a bit of a disaster for DeSantis there coming around, just hitting that curb, unfortunately, on that turn. So hopefully that doesn't happen to anyone else.
Yeah,
we're looking pretty tight here, though.
Yeah, these sausage curbs are somewhat of a bit of a beast at this track. Do you know what I mean? There's no lies about it. As we flick down to Samuel de Oliveira here, who is currently in 16th, chasing down Paul Scott. Oliveira in the blue Mercedes, Paul Scott in the Audi in front of him. And they were literally within about 0.2 of a second of each other, with Stefan Albanese in front there. You can see in 14th. So your current leaders of your classes are Dadswell in gold. We've got Adam Hedgecock in silver. And we've got Mark Sykes in bronze, currently leading us away in the classes. So that's absolutely incredible. Igor Bembic here is trying to make his way through past the attack. They're on the run down into turn 1. I think he's got the job done. And that is Igor Bembic up into 19. Oh.
It's going to be tight. Oh, look like a little bit of a bump there, but it's not doing too bad. Oh, that was tight.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got a bit of a fight between Hedgecock and Williams there for a while, but it seems to have spread out a little bit. Down up to a second now. We've got Sykes cruising ahead of the other bronze up in 13th. Dadswell still keeping his lead 2 seconds ahead of Peroni.
There's Dory on the outside here. You see him there. Dory's got to try and kind of make his way through the order because he kind of dropped. He's up 2 from where his grid spot is, so we can bring you all the gainers and losers over these first 4 laps. So you can see it on the right hand side, on the left hand side there. Watson up 1, Danes 1, Williams down 2, Dory up 2, up 5 for Albanese. That's incredible, and up 6 for Benbich.
Up 6 for Benbich. Wow.
Yeah, I know. He's absolutely flying. And
no, that's how you raced.
Yeah, but as you say, we've got Jamie Dory here, currently in 7th, chasing down Williams in front of him. And then we've got this other Paul Scott and Albanese with Samuel de Oliveira. They're also having a battle on track as well. So there's a lot going on, and we've still got 8.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it feels like a long time, but it's really not. That time is flying almost as fast as these cars are. It's getting pretty tight towards it. 8.5 minutes remaining. Papiolo hoping to catch up on Gardner. We've got his turn coming in. It's going to be tight.
Scott's got to be looking to try to make it round Albanese in turn 1. Doesn't. Brings back Oliveira in the Merc though, who's right behind him. And the Merc is strong here. I've driven the Merc in this track. I like the Merc. Some people don't. Others do, but I like it. So I like the Merc here at this circuit as these guys are coming round 100R. Then they go into the tricky left-hander of turn 6. Back up front, we've got Perone still being chased down by Fletcher. Dadswell's gone. He's 2.3 seconds. He's already on his way to the feature, I think.
He is flying, James. Although in the feature, I believe that will be a reverse grid. So he will be starting last in the feature race. That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I mean, but based on his performance right here, he's going to have no issues. He is flying right now. 2.5 seconds. The gap is only widening as we're going through each of these turns, coming back up to another lap. Got McCluskey hitting 8th, Gardner in 9th, and Papiola in 10th. Dory up was in 7th still. We got another crash by Williams.
Yeah, Paul Williams. Let's see what's happened to you, young sir. This isn't the dreaded sausage curbs again. No, he's round the left-hander. No, overcooked it, and in he went. Too much on the gas. And the way he went, Liam Tack has also had an incident in the back. He's spun out the last turn and is also out as well. He's now down the back end of the field. Stefan Albanese still under attack from Paul Scott, with Mark Sykes currently leader of the bronze class in front of him. So Mark Sykes there doing an absolute stellar job. He's got 3 places until his next rival, which is Nigel Stock in the bronze. So there we go. Benji McCluskey as well, currently sitting in 8th. He's got Gardner climbing behind him in 9th. But there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot to go, Matt. You know, what are they going to be able to do from here?
We're down to almost 6 minutes now. It's looking tight. I mean, obviously, I think we can just we don't need to talk about Dadswell. He's flying unless he crashes. But that'll be interesting if he does, because he's looking pretty consistent. But we've already had 3 incidents here today. 1 crash from a gold, 1 from a silver, and 1 from a bronze. Yeah, so it's looking pretty tough.
Well, we've got 1 of each.
1 of each. Yeah.
1 of each.
I mean,
you know.
The gap between the silvers is widening. Sykes has overtaken Albanese. Hedgecock coming up now. Just behind Papiola. We got another crash from Scott. Oh no.
Yeah, Scott de Oliveira, Samuel de Oliveira have been involved in their own little incident as well. As you see here, Oliveira's going to go up try and look at going up the inside. There's no room at the in, young sir. And around goes Scott in front of him. Unfortunately,
that's rough there.
Yeah, but there's nowhere to go. He couldn't do a lot about it. McCluskey's just trying to make his way past Gardner. Gardner's looking at coming back in again.
Nice clean little pass there by McCluskey. Keeping Gardner behind him. Gardner did overtake for a second there, but McCluskey said no. He's shutting that door. 2 seconds behind Dory in 7th. Dory real close to Williams. That's going to be a bit of a fight there towards the end of the race. Obviously, we've got Sykes now in bronze, doing pretty good, but he's losing. He's lost a little bit of ground. Only 3 seconds between him and Stock.
Yeah, McCluskey there. Looks like it almost lost the place to Gardner. I think he probably has now. He's running a different wide line.
Oh, he's keeping it pretty clean though.
Yeah, they're still too wide going around turn 10. This is where it's gonna. Oh, this is where it's gonna happen. And this is where we need to obviously keep an eye, because this is gonna get even spicier, I think, within the last 4.5 minutes.
It can only get worse, James. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat between McCluskey and Gardner here. They are getting close and closer to each other. It's only a matter of time before one of them crashes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping, though, we're hoping they don't, because at the end of the day, you know, that we want to see good, clean and close racing. What we don't want to see is incidents. And right now, we've got Gianni Perrone here being chased down by Mark Fletcher. And because at the end of the day, it's now down to Fletcher to try and make the moves, because he's got 3:45 on the clock currently at the moment, and he's going to be looking at trying to clear Perrone as best he can. As we can see Dadswell kind of checking out 3:13 down the road there, Matt. He's gone and dusted, and
exactly.
Really, I think this is Dadswell's to lose.
Yeah, definitely. Unless Dadswell makes a huge mistake here, it's going to be tough for him to lose this. I mean, he's an entire 3 seconds ahead now. Every lap, the gap getting longer and longer. Fletcher and Perrone have been fighting for this the entire time. Fletcher just unable to get that little bit of space he needs. It's looking pretty tight, so maybe Fletcher can get something going. Oh, it's looking pretty tight, but it's fine.
Yeah, Fletcher.
That was looking pretty tight there.
The interesting thing as well is we've got 3 BMWs at the top of the field currently at the moment with Dadswell, Perrone and Fletcher, and then we've got the Merc of Watson, who's kind of just driving around almost on his own, trying to sort of catch up but not really making that move forward. And then we've got Perrone behind him. So it's a bit of a tough one for these guys coming towards this end. You know, there's going to be at least this lap and one more. So it'll be interesting to see if Perrone can hold off Fletcher. I'll be very impressed if he can, because Fletcher does look quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 0.2 of a second between them, and then a full 2 seconds between them and Watson. So it's really going to be a fight for second here between Fletcher and Perrone. It's looking pretty tight here. Fletcher taking a lead for a second. Perrone, can he fight him off?
But Perrone's going to get this. Perrone tightened up turn 1 and then started running him out. There was a massive defensive move from Perrone on the way down to the straight. He went all the way to the right-hand side of the circuit. He knew once he'd got there, Fletcher had nowhere to go. And that's Fletcher, unfortunately, looking like he could be stuck behind Perrone for another lap. He's got to try and make it down that straight, as they're going to be coming around taking the white flag this lap. So he's got to try and close up, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't close up, he's not going to get him on that run down into turn 1, Matt. And I think that's where he's got to be looking to make the move, because that's where the most obvious move is likely to be.
Yeah, 100%. I fully agree with you. Yeah, we really got to give it up for the defensive prowess that Perrone is showing off here. He's not quite catching up to Dadswell, but fighting off Fletcher is not an easy task from what we're seeing here, and he's doing it flawlessly.
Yeah,
Some of the defensive moves we're seeing are insane from Fletcher here.
Yeah,
or Perrone, apologies.
So we got Dadswell now is coming around the final corner. He's going to be taking the white flag this lap. So Tom Dadswell there is going to be on the white flag lap of this race. There we go.
Time for someone to catch up in another class. We've got Hedgecock still in first and second. Sykes taking the lead in bronze, 5 seconds ahead of 14th place there. And BMWs are really showing up today. We've got 3 leading BMWs, Dadswell, Hedgecock and Sykes.
Yeah, and then we've got Adam Watson, who's under a whole heap of pressure from Chris Danes, car number 111 on the final lap of the race. Oh, Danes is trying to get him. Here. Yeah, he's going to try and cut back on him. He fed him out wide. They're side by side.
They're bumping.
Going round 100 round into turn 6. Danes is on the left. Watson, well, they've just swapped now, so Danes is on your right. Didn't quite make it round that way. And this next section, Danes has got the inside line. It looks like Watson there maybe taking that wider line in the Merc, as we did see earlier on as well. That wide line works for the Merc. We've got Dadswell going around turn 12 for the final time. Oh, Watson's up in the air.
This is tight. It's looking like Watson's going to take it, though, if he can keep going on these turns.
Yeah, Watson is up in the air.
One more turn from Watson. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, and here we are. Dadswell is going to be coming down the order. He's going to be taking the first victory of the opening round of the GT3 here tonight for Next Gen Racing. Unbelievable. Tom Dadswell is in first. Peroni is in second. Fletcher will be in third. Watson comes across the line in fourth, just from Danes. Williams, and that was really, really close there. Williams just got it from Dory. That was insanely close. Hedgecock in the silver here, taking the victory overall. Albanese behind him 1.1 seconds, and Mark Sykes taking the victory in the bronze. So, yeah.
Looking pretty tough there, James. I mean, we've got our leaders for the round. Sykes looking flying ahead of the other bronzes. I think that's a full 7-second gap there. So it's good racing by Sykes, but obviously we've got to give it up to Dadswell. Got the pole position, stayed first, and stayed there.
And that's the most important thing. So
he held onto that position with an iron grip, and he did not let that thing go.
No, absolutely not. He definitely did not let it go whatsoever. But Dadswell taking the victory, just waiting for the other cars to come across the line. Baz Meacham comes in 24th. Paul Williams in 25th. And then Carpello Martello, I believe, has already finished. He's quite the way down the order. So the results are in. There you go, the real race results are in. Tom Dadswell in first, Gianni Peroni in second, Mark Fletcher third, Adam Watson fourth, Chris Danes fifth, Gazza Williams in sixth, Jamie Dory in seventh, Benji McCluskey eighth, Gavin Gardner in ninth, Simone Papayahola in 10th. So we've got Adam Hedgecock, leader of the Silvers, in 11th, Stefan Albanese in 12th. Mark Sykes takes the victory in the bronze. Daniel Sitzman takes it 14th. Igor Bembich 15th, Darren Doherty 16th, Paul Scott 17th. Mark Baker down in 18th place. Then we've got Robert Adams down in 19th, Nigel Stock in 20th, Samuel de Oliveira in 21st, Liam Tack 22nd, Rafael Santos 23rd, Baz Meacham 24th, Paul Williams 25th, and Carmelo Metello, who seems to have some issues there, in 26th place. Right, guys, we are going to be jumping on to a Be Right Back screen while we wait for the next session to come up and available for us to join. So we'll catch you very, very shortly. Right, guys, what is going on tonight?
Yeah,
No,
welcome
it's just been an absolute nightmare trying to get this back. But we are back and up and running, and the session is up, and we have managed to get in. And my Elgato stream deck's going mental, my thing and my iRacing. Oh, it was just all a little bit of a palaver. But we are here now, in and on to the feature race.
Finally. We're finally around.
Finally around. You know, took us a while. But we're here. We're back. That's all that matters. Is we're up and running. Exactly. So there you go. Still got myself, James Parfitt, and Matt Zeniith on commentary duties with 2:55 left on the clock for the practice before we go into the 1 hour feature. Don't forget, guys, as well, the 1 hour feature race consists of a whole hour's racing. The grid order will be the full reverse from the finishing results of the earlier sprint race, and they do have to go into the pits for fuel. They don't necessarily have to change tyres, but they can go in for fuel. So it's their choice on whether or not they want to change tyres. But they do have to overall go in for fuel, and that is one of the important things here for these guys. They've got to go and refuel, Matty, which is kind of important.
It's pretty important. I mean, it definitely puts a little bit of a spanner in the works. Some of the strategies, like when are people going to pit? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
You got to be a bit tactical with it. Fletcher spinning out of the practice there. That's not a good sign. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the actual race. We'll have to see. Obviously, Fletcher doing pretty well in the last race. I believe we've got either third or fourth. And we have to talk about the points here. The feature race, obviously in the sprint, 18 points, but in the feature, 25 points are up for grabs in first place. Yeah. So it's along the line here, guys, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, there's all to play for basically as well, and I think that's going to be one of the important things. Is there's still going to be, you know, there or thereabouts. It's all to play for. They've still got the opportunity. Now, don't forget, guys, as well, if you are watching on the Nxtgen YouTube TV or on the JPB YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, and turn on the bells for notifications, because that will be absolutely amazing. We still look like we've got Carmelo Metello back in the race as well. Looked like he did have a bit of a rough first race, but technical issues, and I think he finished six laps down, unfortunately for him. So hopefully he'll do a lot better. Dadswell is in as well. First round winner. Al, we didn't do too well. Yeah. Well, saying that, Mark Fletcher finished higher than Jamie Dory.
Yeah, he definitely did. I'm feeling a bit rough about that, but hear me out. Right, this is my strategy, because now we're in the feature race. It's a reverse grid. Yep. So your guys are going to be starting way later than mine is.
Is that your philosophy?
So, yeah, I mean, well, Dory finished behind Fletcher in the sprint. He's going to start ahead. He's going to keep it. I've got faith. Obviously, we've got Dadswell's going to have a hill to climb, though. Starting all the way in last place after winning the sprint by a landslide.
Yeah, and it's a class reverse as well. So, you know, they've got a lot to do, and then they've got a lot of challenges. But we are going to come in to the last 15 seconds of the practice session. I'm hoping that you can everything is working up and correctly. That would be absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's all up and running. I'm just hoping everything survives.
Let's hope so.
Everything survives. It's gotta survive.
Everything survives. Yeah. Look, no sessions crashing. Let's pray for the Steam Deck. Yeah, it's all gonna be good.
Yeah, live TV is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Right.
Oh, it always is.
The challenge of the grid. So Rafael Santos is in first place. Simon Papajola in second. Gavin Gardner in third. Benji McCluskey fourth. Jamie Dory fifth. Gaza Williams in sixth. Chris Daines in seventh. Adam Watson eighth. Mark Fletcher ninth. Gianni Baroni 10th. Tom Dadswell 11th. So they're in a class reverse order. So Carmelo Metello is obviously down in 12th because he finished flat last in the last one. Now in the silver, Paul Williams is in front this time. Badge Meacham in second. Samuel de Oliveira. Paul Scott and Adam Hedgecock, because Adam Hedgecock won the last race. And then in bronze, Nigel Stott, Mark Baker, Darren Doherty, Daniel Simon, and Mark Sykes. Obviously, Mark Sykes took the victory overall in the last one.
He did.
So here we go. We are on for an absolute barnstorming race. Do not go anywhere. 1 hour, different speed from me and you now, Matt. You know, we can get to sort of
it definitely is.
Relax a little bit more and a bit more chilled out.
I'm going to put my feet up for this.
Yeah, put your feet up, sit back, relax. You know, we've only got an hour at it. It'll be fine.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we saw DeSantis have a bit of a DeSantis disaster, if you will. And in the first sprint there, has crashed out. But he's starting first, so he's got a little bit of chances here to redeem himself.
And he is
got
next.
Dadswell starting.
And he is next to his. No, it's fine. He's next to his teammate Papagiolo as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Papagiolo. I'm just so sorry. Please DM me how you say that name. I
believe it's Papayola.
Papayola. Okay.
I think.
Papayola though, because P-A-R.
Papa, yeah.
Papayola. DM me.
Yeah.
Let me know because I'm sure I've probably just butchered that, and I do apologise.
We are too British for this.
Yeah, it's, definitely as well. Give me our good old Smith. You know what I mean? Right. So here we go. For the 1 hour feature race, the first 10 minutes are going to be manic, and then hopefully it's going to settle down.
They're all in formation. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Are you ready for this, James?
No, we've got the gaps between the gold and the silver, and gaps between the silver and the bronze. So they're giving each other a little bit of room, not a massive amount. Here we go.
I'm not
They're
sure
cruising.
If you're ready,
He's no, I've got to be. They're backing him up. They're backing him up. They're backing him up. The green flag is out. We are green, green, green for the first time, for the first feature here at Fuji. And at the moment, DeSantis is out in front. They go 3 wide round turn 1. Gardner, Papajola, Benji McCluskey, all involved in that first turn 1 incident. Touch wood, nobody has been ventured off track as of yet, Matt. So far, so good.
Coca-Cola. Now, this is where things start getting a little bit hairy. This is where DeSantis started going around, coming around 100R, looking pretty tight. Santis taking a nice lead there, half a second ahead, followed by Papayola and Gardner, keeping the formation tight. They're coming around here, and I believe this is
into the hairpin. Yeah, into the hairpin.
That's the one. Can't remember the name. They're coming around. They're doing all good.
Yeah,
good. Alan easy.
Jamie Dory is just chilling out. He is currently in 8th. He's down 3 on his grid spot, so he has lots of places already. As we bring you up the gainers and losers. So Watson up 3, Danes up 1, Dadswell 1, Hedgecock 1, Albanese up 5. He's gone past the bronze. Yeah, he's gone past the bronze. He's now up into the back end of his class. So he's now up 5 places. So there we go for these guys now going into finishing off lap 1. 58 minutes remaining. This is like an ESS endurance for these guys in the GT3. We got 1 to 12 is gold, 13 to 18 is silver, and 19 to 23 is bronze. So stay tuned and see how this one pans out for the next 58 minutes here. We've got Jamie Dory, Mark Fletcher, and Dadswell. And then beside that as well is car number 11, as Perrone behind him. These guys are all rushing down into turn 1. Fletcher's got past Dory. Can Dadswell do the same thing? Perrone's cleared Dadswell. Dory's off. He's with door rubbing there as well. Ooh. Fletcher's got his lights out. Dadswell's got his lights out. He's not happy there, Matt.
Turn 1 is a real tough one. That's where all the action seems to be happening today. Dadswell trying to get over, he just couldn't. But Perrone, I believe, climbing 2 places there. Beating out Dadswell and Dory. DeSantis keeping his lead against Papayola. And everything else staying pretty tight. Williams up in front of silver. Sykes and Doherty fighting it out on bronze right now. They're pretty close to each other. Simon now coming up. It seems like a bit of a real close fight in bronze. Who knows what's happening? You were saying Oliveira.
Oliveira and Hedgecock, they're having their own little battle as well. Don't forget, this is down for 3rd and 4th of silver class. So this is 15th and 16th overall, but these guys aren't worried about overalls. They're more worried about their class at the moment, and that is not good. Jamie Dory has been involved in an incident. No. Tom Dadswell as well. Darren Doherty, Daniel Simons have all been involved. And let's have a look back and see.
Here?
There's Dory on the outside. Dadswell, slight little contact there. Dory keeps going. Oh, he's on the brakes too early. The back end goes, and then it all just kind of stops. And then Dory and Dadswell there were just locked in beside each other. And Dory and Dadswell there managing to get away again nice and safely. Now, here we go. This is, look at the stream of cars. You've got Dory, Albanese, Mettello, Oliveira, Meacham, and Scott, and Sykes. Sykes is leading away the bronze. There is Sykes out the back of the pack in that green car, which looks incredible. But
let's remember, Sykes starting in last for the bronze since he won the sprint, so he's climbed up far. And not forgetting Albanese as well, climbing over loads of places there to get back up into 14th.
Yeah, he started at the back.
What happened to Martello?
Yeah, Martello went obviously down the order on the first ones, didn't he? And unfortunately disconnected. I think he finished like 6 laps down in the first race. But Watson and Papiola are having a little bit of a scrap here. Papiola's more getting climbed over by Gardner currently at this moment in time. So this is going to be an exciting thing to keep an eye on. Can Papiola defend from Gardner? Behind that, you got Danes, Fletcher, McCluskey, Perrone, Williams. Oh, it's going to be spicy, spicy, spicy.
Exactly. This is like having that chicken madras at the engine takeaway. It's a bad idea, do not do it. That thing is spicy as hell, and so is this race.
Absolutely, and we've got Daniel Simon down the back of the order there as well. He's down in the Merc, currently in 23rd place. Stefan Albanese is being climbed all over. Oliveira's looking. Albanese's defending like an absolute man on a mission, stopping his country from a takeover, and there is Albanese managing to hold on to the position from Oliveira down into turn 1 as they're coming on that run down through Coca-Cola. Now, Matt, it's got to be Oliveira's going to end up sitting there for another lap, I think.
Exactly, man. Turn 1 is really where it's all happening. So the front runner's heading to the hairpin now, but turn 1, man, we've seen a lot of battles over there. We've seen a lot of battles. Oliveira and Albanese. We saw Gardner and Danes. We saw Dadswell and everyone. I mean, it's getting tough here, man. It's going to be interesting seeing what else comes around turn 1, especially between DeSantis and Watson. Watson hoping maybe to climb up, but 54 minutes remaining. There's still a lot of time in this race, and also the pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going to happen with that?
Yeah, I think they're going to be the game changer. I think pit stops, all in all, will be the absolute complete game changer of this situation. Now, I'm just starting to think as well. Fletcher has got Danes in front, Gardner, and then Papiola, but behind Fletcher, you've got McCluskey, Perrone, and Williams. You haven't got 3 slouches in the cars behind these guys.
Exactly.
You know, so they've got to try and move forward. And the problem when you're defending, you're not moving, advancing, because obviously you're more worried about the guy behind you than trying to make up positions here. As we see Fletcher pulled out on the right-hand side. Can he make this move past Danes? He's currently got his nose ahead. Danes is going to get it done. Fletcher's got it done. Oh, contact in front by Papiola and Gardner. Gardner just got past Papiola as well.
What a turn by Gardner there.
Yeah, 2 positions are there. Absolutely incredible. And we've still got 53 minutes remaining.
Exactly. We've got a lot of action left, and a lot of action has already happened. As we were saying that, Dory Martello mentioned climbed above Williams and Albanese, coming in 12 and 3rd now, hoping to catch up a little bit. Danswell definitely closing the gap between him and Williams as well. It was a 3-second gap, now it's 2 seconds, so he's hoping to do something there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got Papiola, Fletcher, Danes, McCluskey. McCluskey and Perrone seem to be flying a little bit. They're really close to each other.
Yep.
Albanese is now the leader, almost the leader of the Silvers again. 14th place, Hedgecock at 11th.
Yeah, Hedgecock I know is no slouch. I know him personally. He is no slouch in this series. So Hedgecock would not let these positions go, regardless if he's sitting there going, oh right, it's gold, it's Jamie Dory. I know that, I can see that. Hedgecock isn't going to matter about that. He's going to be sitting back thinking, well, you want to come and get me? Come get some. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he's in his rights to be driving, regardless if they're in 2 different series or 2 different classes almost. But he's still got his right to go after the positions that he wants, you know, and that's 100%, the thing.
100%. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, silver and gold can fight it out all they like. But the real, as long as you're the leader of your class, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Even if you're beating other classes, if a silver beats a gold, what's that say about the gold player?
Well, it just means that obviously they've been involved in incidents, as Jamie Dory and Carmelo Metallo have. Really, I think that's the way to look at it at the moment. Unless, of course, we look at there's going to be a promotion here with Adam Hedgecock going up to gold. Who knows? He tells me he's not that great. I tell him he is, and he just turns around and says, "No, I'm not." And then before we know it, we're having a little bit of a ding dong. But you know, look, at the end of the day, if there's anything he will always tell me, and that is he's always on target. So there we go.
Exactly.
That is
I mean, he's clearly
Hedgecock.
playing well.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think, as well. He's always on target, is Mr. Hedgecock. So this is the Tecton Times currently from Hedgecock.
I think Fletcher's had an instant. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Fletcher just dropped down 5 places. I think he might have had an instant there.
No,
he's down to
he's
14.
still going. Oh, and this is where it was.
Oh, a rough spin there by Fletcher,
yeah.
all the way onto the grass.
And the worst thing about that as well, I could tell you, he was avoiding that DRS sport car.
Yeah.
He hit that brake far too hard and was trying to avoid it. And that is where the resulting thing come in from. So that's the situation. But there is the splits at the bottom of your screen from Hedgecock and also Albanese as well. So that is what the gap currently between them is. Albanese's quicker over sector 3 and quicker over sector 1. So Hedgecock is going to have his work cut out here if he's looking at trying to keep ahead of Albanese, because clearly Albanese is quick and you know, he wants to get that job done, doesn't he? And he's got 50 minutes to do it.
I mean, yes, he does. I mean, we're past the dreaded turn 1 now for this lap, so it's looking like it's going to be hopefully a little bit safer for the rest of this lap. We'll have to see what happens, but Albanese and Hedgecock currently neck and neck. They're actually coming pretty close. 3/10 of a second between them.
Right behind him. Look at the lap times.
There's going to be a fight here, man.
Yeah,
there's going to be a fight.
Absolutely. Hedgecock and Albanese are going to be coming to loggerheads very, very shortly. And they've literally got 16 tenths between each other at the moment.
Dadswell taking over Williams while this is happening.
Yeah, the problem is Fletcher's behind this as well. Fletcher's trying to go through on Albanese and makes the move. So that's Fletcher now. He can defend a little bit because he can almost give Hedgecock here a defender behind him, because Hedgecock and Fletcher are from the same Altitude Esports team. Don't get me wrong, Fletcher's not going to want to stay there for long, without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean? However, one thing that we are going to keep an eye on now is why has this man, Mark Sykes, 666, sign of the devil.
Oh, what a spin there, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, that was the same guarantee. That was the same kind of thing that Mark Fletcher tried to do there. Mark Sykes tried to avoid that incident. So therefore, he's hit the brakes too hard, and that's why they've come down. Adam Hedgecock lets Mark Fletcher through. You want to close the door because Albanese is coming.
Here we go.
Oh, Hedgecock, Albanese is coming.
They are buying heads right now. They are neck and neck, side by side. This is too close to call. Albanese. I think Albanese takes it. What a takeover there.
Yeah, Albanese is through and got the job done. 48 minutes left on the clock. Gardner and Danes, both from Verano Motorsport here in the Porsches, are having their own little battle, as we can see on the left-hand side. These guys...
Albanese's had an instant. Albanese's dropped down to 20th. Rough ride for Albanese. What's happened here? Coming around the turn, he hits the grass a little bit.
No, it's going to be here. He spun that Porsche around in a circle.
Oh, no.
All that effort just gone. And he's just had to sit there and let the traffic go through and through and through and through. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that is the worst.
That is the worst feeling ever in the world. He's just sitting there, letting them go through, because you've got no choice.
Yeah, Hedgecock has to be thanking his lucky stars that happened, because he seems to be running a little bit free at the moment. There's a full second between him and Oliviera at the moment, I believe. So that's going to be Perrone and Papaiola here, by the way. Perrone, what a turn there to take over.
Yeah, Papaiola there now. Currently, that is 6th place. Perrone in 5th. Dadswell is behind him, no, and Dadswell is in 7th overall. McCluskey is having a battle at the back. That's Benji McCluskey and Gaza Williams. So these guys are mixing it up here towards the back end of gold. A battle for 8th and 9th position. It's going to be, yeah, I think the problem is obviously Williams and McCluskey, you know, they've got to be looking at trying to work together. They've still got 45 minutes and a little bit of change on top of that. And really, they kind of want to sit back and see, because the field's starting to spread. You know, you can see it here, Gavin Gardner, Perrone, Papiola, Dadswell, McCluskey are probably close together. And then you've got a 6.6 second gap till this man, Jamie Dory, who's having his own little battle with Mark Fletcher and Cabello Botello. So, you know, they've got to be trying to work together now, because otherwise the gaps are just going to widen and widen and widen.
Yeah, there's a bit of a crab bucket situation going on there, dragging each other down towards the bottom. The front runners just keep on front running. Sentis with a 2.3 second gap ahead of Watson. Watson with a 2.4 second ahead of Danes. And Danes even almost a full second ahead of Gardner. So the front is definitely starting to spread. Williams taking over McCluskey there. Nice little turn by Gaza. Yep. Fletcher taking over Dory. And now it's going to be looking like tight. Dory dropping down to 11th. Martello still sitting in 12th for the bronzes. We're seeing Doherty in 19th. Albanese in 20th. Oliveira taking over Hedgecock to take the lead from the on the silver class.
Yep.
Perrone coming up to 4th now, just taking over Gardner. It's looking like a tough race.
Yeah, Gardner here is trying to chase down Perrone. You know, at the end of the day, one's in a Porsche, one's in the BMW. There doesn't seem to be a favoured one. We saw 3 BMs in the last one take the victories, take the top 3 spots, but then we got a Porsche Merc and a Porsche. So, you know, there doesn't seem to be much consistency between them. It'd be interesting to see how the Merc gets on at some of the tracks. Dadswell's just gone fast Papiola there and is now chasing down Gardner. Mark Sykes is trying to recover. He's at the back end of the bronzes currently. And Benji McCluskey here and Gaza Williams and Papiola are all coming back together again. 44 minutes left. You know, we're going to start seeing the cars just kind of spread out and settle down, I think, now, Matt, as well.
Yeah, we are.
And they've just got to kind of get into their groove.
I mean, this is going to be a game of consistency from now on. Once everything spreads out, you've just got to be consistent. I mean, 50 minutes in, the sprint would have already finished by this point, so you got to think maybe some fatigue might be setting on the drivers soon.
Well, we did have,
yeah,
we kind of did have that technical issue during the changeover, which just for some bizarre reason wouldn't let us watch it at all. But here's Doherty and Meacham. So Doherty there in the BMW on the left, Meacham in the Audi on the right, and that is Doherty through on Baz Meacham. So Doherty has through, the bronze has passed the silver, and there in the background is and there is Albanese behind him. Obviously, Williams is still locked in that battle as well. He's still got Papiola behind, Dadswell in front. Behind Papiola, Benji McCluskey. Can you get on board with it and try and help him out? That would be great if they could, but it's never easy. With 43 on the clock, never is. With 43 on the clock still.
I mean, we got to give it up to Dadswell as well. Think about that. He has had an absolute war to fight through so far. Starting off at the back of the pack after winning the sprint and getting in an instant with Dory and Martello. And he's climbed his way all back up to 6th. So he's doing pretty good so far for the golds. I mean, we could be looking at 42 minutes remaining. I mean, obviously we're going to see it spread out a bit, but Dadswell's got to be feeling good about himself. Maybe trying to catch up with Gardner and Perrone. Get a little bit of revenge on Perrone.
Well, maybe. He's got to be looking forward. Welcome, Dan Peoples, into chat. Hope you are well. Yes, for a minute on your last question. That's hopefully be resolved over the next few days. But just to basically give you something actually where it's not jumping around and stuttering around. That's why it's where it is. But McCluskey and Papiola here are kind of going at each other. McCluskey is in the Merc, Papiola in the Porsche. I don't know where I would be now. Normally when I run sort of a long endurance, almost like I say it's an endurance. Oh, Papiola's got round.
Oh no!
Papiola's going round. He's now lost a position to Fletcher.
Unfortunate with Papiola, but a decent recovery there. I mean, he didn't lose too many spots. He's down to 10th.
Yeah, he didn't lose a
Quite
position,
nice.
down to Dory. But Dory is now tucked up right behind him.
Oh, this is close.
Dory's on the inside on the run now. There's car number 19, Baz Meacham. Looks like he's been stopped and in the infield there. Not quite sure why that's going to happen. But Babiola, Dory and Carmelo Metello are in this freeway battle. DRS Esports sandwich over the Nxtgen Racing, Jamie Dory. Oh, Jamie.
Oh, Dory taking over. What a turn by Dory. Hope they can keep that lead against Papiola, trying to get some defense going on. As we're saying, there's Williams taking over Dadswell. And Dadswell down to 8th. Maybe an incident there for Dadswell. He's dropping down a few places.
He's gone into the pits.
Oh, he's gone into the pits. Sorry, I can't read.
No, that's
Anyway.
fine. Dadswell's gone into the pits. That's why he's gone down the order. So Dadswell has gone into the pit. So he's the first one to jump almost. So we'll see how this all pans out. But Babiola, Dory and Metello. Unfortunately for Dory, he's kind of got to get that car in the middle there. You want it there because if you leave the door open for one, Matt, you're going to leave the door open for the other one because the other one's going to try and follow him through.
You got to close that door quick if you're going to let someone through.
Yeah.
I mean, this fight right now, this three-way fight, it's tough. It's tough. But
yeah, that's the thing, I think, Matt, as well, is Papiola, Dory and Metello. The thing is, you've got two teammates either side. You know, Dory's almost like the ham between two bits of bread, almost. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
And,
yeah.
and Papiola will kind of hold up Dory if he needs to let Martello through. And then obviously try and give Martello that opportunity to overtake. But Dory's got to play it smart. He's got to look at whether or not he's going to jump Papiola. Oh, the door's been left open. But this is the problem. He's come off the line now. So if Martello slotted in on the inside run, there was a possibility, like he has now, he's going to get the draft. He needs almost Papiola to come across, like he has, to pull Martello in front of Dory. And that is what that teamwork is. But I think Dory has just gone peeling off down into the pits. He has done. So Jamie Dory into the pits. But that was kind of your epiphany of what teammates should do.
Exactly, yeah. We got to applaud the strategy there by Martello and Papiola to be able to coordinate that perfectly. That was definitely good play by them. Did good teamwork there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Dory drop down the lines as he's going to the pit lane. Hedgecock as well now in there. Hedgecock was in second just behind Oliviera, but he's now dropped into the pit lane. So we'll have to see, as we said before, the pit lane's going to be the game changer. This could be real something. Once Sanchez and Watson and the top players start dropping into pit lanes, that's when things are really going to spice up.
Yeah, absolutely. Why are they not? Because at the end of the day, you know, the pits is what can be absolutely incredible. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, you know, we're seeing Mark Fletcher. He's just putting in the fastest lap of the race because, you know, why not halfway through with, you know, 22 minutes gone already. Mark Fletcher doing a 1:32.99 when everybody else is talking about going into the pits. He's absolutely flying. Obviously, we've seen the DRS Esports guys here at Metello and Papiola. They're not going to be wanting to try and push each other too hard because at the end of the day, they don't want to be that team that takes each other out. One of the things now is DeSantis and Watson are only basically about half a second back, and Watson is closing in that mighty powerful Merc.
Yeah, he is. That Merc is strong. I mean, you said like not a lot of people like the Mercs, but they do get the job done when they need to.
Yeah,
and as we're saying, this Dadswell is now out of the pits. I believe Meacham and Sykes are as well. So we're gonna see some interesting changes. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Well, they've got to now look at their strategies, right? Because at the end of the day, Mark Sykes obviously hasn't pitted. Dadswell has. Jamie Dory has. Adam Hedgecock has. Mark Baker's been in and out. He's had obviously his issues. He's 2 laps down, I think, for the leader currently. Adam Hedgecock is all the way down in 22nd place. Dory is in front of him in 21st. Meacham is in 20th. But everybody above 18th have not pitted. So
That's where it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and that's what he means. He's got to try and keep the gap. The pit lane time is between 57 and 59. Meacham's now in the pits. They're stopping at an average of about 23 to 24 seconds. So they've got to be looking at the fact that now is where they got to keep that gap. They need that minute gap almost. They don't want to be losing too much time behind people when they, you know, come in and try and get back out again.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've always been saying that the pits are going to be the interesting bit, and we did also get a bit of misinformation. Sykes has not pitted,
No,
so it's going to
hasn't.
be Dadswell, Dory, Hedgecock, and I believe Meacham that are all pitted.
Yeah.
I think Albanese may have as well.
Albanese, no, currently not at the moment.
He's not, okay.
No.
Once again, I can't read the English education system, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, he's not pitted at the moment. However, Santos and Watson are still having this ding-dong. Carmelo Metello is in the pits. He's dropped down now, but I turn towards Samuel Oliveira. Wow, get your teeth working. Samuel Oliveira, sorry.
There you go.
There we go. 36 minutes gone, and we're just still getting the names incorrect. But I am Papiola. Do please DM me and tell me how I'm saying names.
Yeah.
I want to make that right, because I think sometimes we're getting it wrong. But
I feel like we can't be too far off.
no, I think we've got to be there or thereabouts, haven't we? Somebody's going to be messaging me shortly and telling around St. James it's this, and I'll be like, okay, thank you very much. And then before we know it, it's, oh, I don't know. It's all going to get a little bit messy, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, it is. Metello is in the pits as well. Dadswell's gone past Metello. The question will be, can Dory get past Metello? Metello is there at the end of the pits.
It's going to be close.
Here is Dory. Metello's going to be up now. He's past the exit. He's up into full speed. There's Dory there. Didn't pass Martello. So Martello managed to get out in front of Dory. However, Watson's going in the pits. Danes looks like he's headed in as well. Danes has diverted off. He's decided he's not going to go in. Follows Watson and then decides a little bit of mind games. Mark Fletcher still not in, but Adam Watson is going to be dropping down the order now due to the pits.
Now that we've had one of the front runners dropping into the pits, that's where things are going to get interesting. Obviously, Danes maybe having to get a little bit of time on Watson, you know. Maybe try and get that little bit of space to be able to get ahead of him before he goes into the pits. There could be a little bit of strategy there by Danes. Well, we're going to have to see once Santos and Perone, all these three front runners are already tight. We're going to have to wait to see until they kind of drop into the pits and see how that changes the scores.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because you know, they've kind of going into the pits. They're looking at different strategies. We've seen this across the board, and now, you know, they're trying to think, okay, so what can I do to make this better? You know, Fletcher's climbing all over McCluskey here. We can see the visual ties, sector times at the bottom of the lap time history, sorry, and you can see Fletcher is visually quicker. Okay, he's visually quicker. He's now just climbing all over him. There are your sector ties. McCluskey now gets it wrong on the entrance into the last corner. Into going into turn 12. Sorry, I covered up what I was reading. Into turn 12. And now it's got Fletcher close right back up, even closer than he has. So they're either going to make a move here that both of these are going to go down the straight and Fletcher's going to get him into turn 1, Matt, or they're going to be looking at going into the pits together.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I mean, Fletcher and McCluskey have been fighting a lot. They're not going to the pits. They've been fighting for a long time. I mean, these two, they're pretty close. Fletcher looking like the faster racer so far. But they have been pretty close the entire race, so it's going to be interesting to see in these last 33 minutes what happens there.
Yeah, exactly. As we can see there, Fletcher does pass McCluskey now, and that puts Fletcher on his way. Fastest man on a 1:32.88 was Chris Danes last time out for his last lap. So he is currently absolutely flying, his Danes, trying to keep as much gap as he can towards the guys behind him. So he doesn't want to get caught up here with Adam Watson, who clearly is doing rather well for himself and is exceptionally quick. So
Exactly. I mean, we've got to give it up to Fletcher. I mean, he's a pretty fast racer. He's had one of the fastest races and one of the fastest laps, apologies. And believe me, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there is a bonus point for the fastest lap.
Yep. There
certainly
there is a bonus point. Now the scoring itself is a fairly bog standard scoring that we've all seen before, but they do get points for extra as well. So, you know, they've got the points for pole position in the sprint race and the fastest lap, and then they get the bonus points for the 2 points they get for pole position as well for the fastest lap, in the endurance. So, you know, there's pole position and fastest lap there all to be played for, plus your normal league points on top of that. So there's a lot that they can gain by going quick.
Exactly, and McCluskey now heading into the pit lane, as well as Scott, I believe it is. So we've seen a lot of drops down now. McCluskey decided now is the best time for him to pit. We've got a lot of people going into the pit. I believe that's Doherty as well.
Yeah, we got McCluskey, Scott, Williams, and Doherty all entered into the pits there. So it's going to be quite a development now. The rush in that midfield is going to be absolutely unbelievable. And all we're going to see is basically people coming out. Watson's climbed up past. The most important thing for Watson is he's climbed past the pit runners. Dadswell has also climbed past the pit runners as well. So Dadswell, Watson, and Sykes. Sykes still hasn't pitted, mind you. He's still out there on his stuff that he's on. You can see the lap times. Lap 16 for Watson, which wasn't too far away on the last one. And as you can see, currently we're on lap 19. So Watson, Dadswell's going to be on 7 lap old tyres. Sykes not gone in yet.
Oh, Santos and Peroni are pitting. That's going to be interesting.
And the interesting thing is as well, is this man, Jamie Dorey, did not get past McCluskey.
No, he did not. Yeah,
he didn't get past the other
Neither
pit
did
runners.
Martello.
No, the other pit runners behind him, none of them cleared Watson. So
definitely a good pit by Watson there. Now Danes is going to be all out on his own.
Well, the top 2, 4, 6, 8 are all in the pits. Danes is the only one. Yep, and this is where we're going to need to see it now, because where will Watson come out in conjunction with this lot? He knows they're in the pits, but it's what he can do about it here tonight. So he's gone past one lot. He's gone past. He's going to keep climbing up the field. You see Watson's name going up there.
He managed to climb to 3rd.
Oh, chops the nose off Peroni. Faster than a plastic surgeon doing a nose job on Kim Kardashian, I'll tell you that much. Literally, bang went Perone's nose, and Watson has got it stuck to the back of his back of his car. God, blimey. That was a nose job and a half, mate, I tell you. He was going to literally have So that's Watson into 3rd. Now, pretty much the only one who hasn't pitted is this man, Chris Danes, and he's now just gone in. Now, Santis here is the man in 2nd place.
Yes, I don't.
You know, the weirdest thing is as well, looking at this, I don't know if he's close enough to get Danes here.
Dane's got a lot of time on him when he was in the pit. I think taking that little second just to get an extra lap on definitely was a good idea by Danes. It's gonna be close. Danes is in the pit right now, and Santos coming up to the straight. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real close.
Danes is obviously pitting. 2 laps later.
You're all good.
Danes needs to get out. If he's going to be taking this victory, he needs to move now. He's on his way out. He's on his way out.
Here we go.
There is Danes. There is Santos on the right-hand side. How is this one going to materialise? Danes is going to come out in front, and I don't think Santos is going to get him down into the run down into turn 1. However, Perone is, and has done, got Watson. Watson again sending it. Look at this. They're battling side by side.
Watson. He's staying on the inside.
Door rubbing.
Contact.
Slight little bit of contact on the doors. You know, rubbing is racing. That's what they say.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
Oh, they're both inside.
Do not hit that sausage curb, especially in the back, because you do launch yourself. We've seen it in the Porsche. In the sprint, didn't we? It was straight up in the air.
A bit of a DeSantis disaster, as I like to say. But DeSantis definitely redeeming himself, coming up into second now, just behind Dane. Dane's definitely getting the strategy there with the pit. So it's going to be a fight for first and a fight for third between Perrone and Watson. Because Danes and Santos, they've got quite a bit of space between them, third and fourth right now.
Yeah, they got
3
seconds, yeah.
We've got Papiola hitting up the back of the goal. We've got Dory, then Martello, McCluskey, Williams, Fletcher, and Gardner. And don't forget Dadswell has climbed up an absolute mountain. Dadswell has climbed so far.
Yeah, he's up 6 positions as well. So there's still all to play for as we're coming into the last 25 minutes. Jamie Dory is unfortunately off.
Oh, what a rough ride for Dory. It's not been a good race for Dory. The second incident that he's involved with now.
If he watches this back, he's going to blame you. You realise that, right?
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? He'll be like,
Yeah,
well, Matt, it's your fault.
I'll accept. Look, I've got the caster's curse. I'll admit it. I'll take it.
No,
Dory, this one's on me.
Yep, you picked him. At least I picked Fletcher, who's still in the middle, so I'm quite happy with that. You know, Fletcher's still there.
You can have Biggles. I've always had a caster's curse on me.
Yeah, dude, the commentator's curse, I still don't fully understand that, right? I've got to be honest, because at the moment, we're on them. I'm not in the car. You know, I'm not driving the car with Perrone, so if he spins now and I've told everybody how well he's doing, I don't see how that's my fault.
Who knows, man? It just happens. It happens. Dory's going back into the pit lane, I believe.
Yeah, well, I think Dory probably could do, to be fair. Mark Fletcher is still banging out the fastest lap time on a 1:32.73 currently at the moment. So the best times so far, 1:32 for golds, 1:33 for silver, and 1:34 for bronze.
They're all doing pretty good, I've got to admit. Stark staying in the lead for bronze. We've got Oliviera taking up the lead, and Hedgecock not far behind in silver, and Danes with an amazing pit lane strategy, managed to keep the lead 2 seconds ahead of Santos now. Danes looking for the win, 25 minutes remaining. Obviously, they only have to pit once, so this could be it. Danes could be looking at a victory here. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, a lot of time left.
Yeah, a lot of time left. Obviously, we did have that delay between sessions, so we are running slightly behind schedule. Excuse me. Currently at the moment, but the cars are starting to spread out now. We can see Fletcher still doing a 1:32.73. Perrone there he's got basically Dadswell about 7 tenths back at the moment, and I think the interesting thing will be now whether or not Dadswell can close this gap over this guy, you know, over Perrone, because he's got a bit of time to try and close up. You know, he's a little bit faster in sector 1, which is obviously proving that he can close the gap, Matt, but he's still got 7 tenths to make up, and that's never easy.
Exactly, but then again, 7 tenths to make up. He does have 24 minutes to do it to get into that third position. We've really got to, I've said this before, we've really got to give it up to Dadswell. I mean, starting in the last position with golds after winning the sprint, getting in an instant with Dory, and still managed to climb back up to full position. This is insane. Yeah. Dadswell is going to be one to watch throughout the rest of the series.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I think when you look at what we've got on track in the class of drivers, you know, there's nobody below 1.4K, 1.3K currently in the field, and the highest at the moment is Mark Fletcher, who's just over 6K. So the spread is huge, but also the fact that, you know, the times aren't that far apart. And I think that's the important thing to say, that they're not that far apart at the moment.
Yeah, they really aren't. They're all pretty tight knit. I mean, obviously we've got a couple of the bronze ahead of Albanese right now. Stock and Doherty doing pretty well there. Stock keeping a 2-second lead above Doherty. Doherty having a 4-second lead over Albanese. Maybe a bit of an instant there, who knows? And then we've got Watson and Dadswell pretty close. Oliviera not far behind Papiola in reality. No. But Fletcher keeping that fastest lap. He's looking for that bonus point. Let's see if he can climb up and maybe get a few extra points along with it.
Yeah, look at it, 1:32.728, and almost a second quicker than Gardner. 1:32.8, 1:32.899 as well. So the move is on for Fletcher, who's, well, in conjunction I think Gardner made the right choice there and just kind of let him through. However, Perone is sitting on the side of the track. Perone is sitting on the side of the track, and this is why he's sitting on the side of the track.
There we go. He's coming up. I believe that's Dadswell right behind there.
Oh,
a little bit of a T-bone there, it looked like almost.
Yeah, they touched on the last quarter, and that was Dadswell, unfortunately, going round. That was never good for Perone. Sorry, Perone was going round at the hands of Dadswell. We do have 20 minutes remaining. Currently, though, Gardner is still trying to get back past Fletcher. I don't think there's going to be much. Come on, Watson. He's in 4th place currently at the moment, 2.3 second gap to the guys behind, and he's got about 2.4 in front of him. So he's got 2.4 either way, and hopefully Watson will be able to get this job done and stick into 4th place. However, he has got Dadswell and Fletcher.
Exactly. Two of the races to look at. I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. We gotta keep our eyes on Fletcher for the endurance race, because he's been looking the most consistent. Obviously, he's keeping his race times pretty close together. So when it comes to that 2-hour endurance race, he's definitely going to be one to watch.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely. I think just by one race alone, you can tell where we're heading for the season. You know, Danes has put in a stellar run today. Santos has put in a stellar job. Dadswell, Fletcher, you know, they're all going to be involved in this top battle, I think, and that's going to be one of the important things. Down in Silver, I'd love to see Oliveira and Hedgecock just go full bore at it all year. And I think,
100%.
Yeah, I think Sykes was unlucky in race 2. I think he put it in this race, sorry, and I think he probably could have done a lot more compared to where he is now. Pitted very, very, very late, mind you. Did he pit too late? Only Mark Sykes will be able to tell you that. But currently being led away on bronze by Nigel Stock. Stock is currently 16th overall, first in class. So, you know, keeping it on track. But Gardner is still chasing Fletcher and probably will do for the next 20 minutes.
For the next one, you got a lot of faith in Gardner. I'll be honest, James, you got a lot of faith in him. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, I mean, you saying Fletcher is one of the best racers here, and that's obvious. We've got Gardner, we've got Williams. I mean, we've got to think about Perone as well. Perone doing pretty good in the first sprint race. I believe he came either 2nd or 3rd. But on that little bit of a pit by Dadswell, just kind of knocking him out of contention there, back down to 8th. And I believe Jamie Dory has just sat in the pit lane and has kind of resigned from this race, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Tough break for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Berwick, will Dadswell get a penalty? Well, the thing is with that one is that's got to be looked at the stewards, and they'll take into a lot more consideration than what we can see. So many a times I've sat here and I've turned around and said that's a penalty. Right, many a times I've turned around and said that. Stewards have come back and said no, it's not. Or I've turned around and said the guy's defending like an absolute trooper and he's now the king of defending. Next thing you know, the stewards are giving him a penalty for blocking. So, you know,
exactly.
I don't want to put myself into that position and say, should there be a penalty? Should there not be a penalty? Because, to be honest, Tom, I'll probably end up getting some DMs from drivers telling me that he shouldn't or shouldn't be. So I'm going to sit on the fence, mate. I'm going to get splinters in my bottom, and I'm not going to give you an answer on that one. That will go to the stewards, and only the stewards will be able to tell you that one. However, Watson has let Fletcher through, and that is Watson now down up into 5th place currently, as well with Fletcher into 4th.
We'll be seeing a battle of titans here, James. We'll be seeing Fletcher and Dadswell facing off in not too long. They're looking pretty close to each other. Adam Watson trying to get that space back out from Fletcher, but Fletcher is not having any of it.
And he's got, the problem is as well, Matt, he's got 3.2 seconds left. 3.2 seconds to try and climb up the wall, up the road, when Dadswell is doing 1:33.16, Fletcher's doing a 1:32.93, 2 tenths, not enough. Not enough.
No,
however, Hedgecock and Oliveira are going at it full bore here further down the field. So this is your battle for your lead in silver, currently led by Oliveira in the Merc, being chased down by Mr. Adam I'm always on target Hedgecock. Trust me, if I talk to him, that's what he'll tell me. because we've had many a conversations, and he always tells me the same thing. I was on target, James. That's all you need to know. And I'm like, cheers, Mr. Hedgecock. Thank you very much for that, mate. So Adam Hedgecock there will be on target, regardless if he beats Oliveira or loses to Oliveira. I'm sure he'll be on target anyway.
He will be on target, James. I mean,
exactly.
What can you expect from Hedgecock? He's always on target.
Exactly, always
in
is.
his previous racing. He always is.
He's always a
target Hedgecock.
Does well, and don't forget Fletcher is the team boss. Well, you know, let's just. We're not saying anything about that, but as I say, I don't know. I don't want to get involved in the penalty situation. However, what I would love to get involved with now is sitting in Hedgecock's car and just telling him how close we are to Oliveira, and there we are on the nose of the booming BMW. We've got to be looking at taking the right-hand corner. We do currently at the moment.
Go back to turn one.
Yeah, back in
again. The danger happens.
No, he's going to make it. Hedgecock's going to make this. He's going to make it. He's going to stick it in the inside as well. He's not even going to let Oliveira take the inside line again, which he doesn't. Job done. Adam Hedgecock. Now go on, son, go hold it, because I'll tell you what, if you don't get rid of Oliveira around the rest of this lap, and he's on that straight again, you're going to end up getting towed back there. However, Watson has just lost another position to Gardner. I believe there may have been a little bit of a wider line from Watson there. Unfortunately, he's dropping down the order faster than a stone in the ocean. I'll tell you that much, he's going down.
He definitely was.
Yeah, he's definitely dropping a lot quicker than he really, in hindsight, Matt, probably technically should be.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But as we know, the race happens. You can't really change what's happening. You can only watch and commentate.
Exactly, but what he can do is change this now, because you can see the draft taking it into effect. It's come down to nearly below 4 temps currently at the moment.
Here we go.
Can we get it? Oh, it's too far.
Watson.
Too far. He's not going to get it. No, he's too far. Not going to get it. Not going to get it unless he sends it.
Unless he drives like a crazy man.
Oh.
Doesn't quite get it.
But what he does manages to do as well, Gardner there was almost kind of put off by the fact that obviously Watson was looking at like he was going to come through on him. So therefore Gardner left a little bit of that gap. What he did do is he managed to drop the time down a whole tenth through that little bit of track. However, Oliveira and Hedgecock going again. Hedgecock, don't leave the door open.
As we know, Hedgecock, he's always on target.
Yeah, but I thought he was going to leave the door wide open there. If he left the door wide open, he was definitely going to go and get burgled, and that wasn't good. However, Nigel Stock, Nigel Stock is in bronze currently. Darren Doherty trying to chase him down, but it's got a tall order. I will say that thing for him. Nigel Stock, however, is chasing down Paul Williams up in a silver class in front of him, and Hedgecock.
Yeah, Nigel Stock.
Yeah,
he's been playing a good race.
Yeah, he's
been playing a very good race.
The thing is, as well with Nigel Stock, he's managed to keep hold of the guys in front of him. Do you know what I mean? He's not put himself under any major issues. He's gone around. He's done his job, and is currently leading the class. So, what can he ask for?
Exactly. I mean, Stock, Doherty, and then Steinman and Sykes for bronze. Albanese in between there at 8 seconds, just behind Doherty. So it's looking pretty tight in that last little pack. And obviously we've got Dane Santos and Daswell. Daswell up in third after having a mountain of a race for him. And we're currently down to 13 minutes left.
Now listen,
that's not a lot of time, James.
No, but what I want to bring us on to is this man up front, right? We're going to touch on Chris Danes. We haven't seen much of Chris. He's kind of checked out and done. However, I would stay out of that little pocket of hole there, mate, because that is not good for your car. But listen to this, right? Chris Danes, currently sitting, right, he sits at the tender age of 38, right? He's been sim racing for 26 years. Keep it on track. Yeah, 26 years. So he basically started when he was 12. Now,
he's been sim racing for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, that what I love about this as well is Chris has turned around and said his biggest inspiration in motorsport, right? And not everybody did this. Not everybody thought this far. He's put my dad, motorbike racer since the 60s until 92 when he had a life-changing accident. Since then, I started racing in real life in karts, then cars, as family didn't want me on 2 wheels for obvious reasons. But listen to his greatest achievements. This is what we asked him, by the way, guys, if you're wondering where we get the information from. Here's the greatest achievement, Super 1 Series in 1999, finishing 16th in the UK, Swedish indoor champion in 2006. 24-hour Nordschleife champion in the TCR in iRacing in 2020, Nxtgen MX5 champion 2022 in iRacing, Nxtgen LMP2 champion in 2022 in iRacing, the first in Sebring 12-hour LMP2 2022 in iRacing, and the first in the LMP2 Division 2 in 2022 in iRacing. He has, Chris Daines, officially had a booming 2022 within iRacing, Matt. What more can we ask for from that?
Honestly, I mean, he's a decorated individual. As you're going through that, Dadswell and Santos are fighting right now.
Yeah.
Dadswell having to get to second. Looking pretty tight on this turn, but it's looking like Dadswell might take it. What offense there by Dadswell. But we got to give it up for Daines. What a decorated career, racing for over 20 years.
It's just unbelievable. You know, he's got more things on his greatest achievements, and I've probably got him what you might not remember. These records of achievements we used to get from school. Little red folders with your certificates in. You know, he's got more in iRacing, and I've probably got him my whole record of achievement. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so
it's insane.
Some of it is just incredible. And without this information, guys, as well, you know, this is why we put these forms out and ask the drivers to fill this in so we can get this amazing information, because obviously, you know, it's our first time JPB broadcasting this series, so first time in here. So, you know, we're trying to put out, get as much information, gather information, so we got these stories. But that is unbelievable from Chris Daines. It's 2022 in iRacing. It's just been amazing.
It's been insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna look at one of the more talented racers, it's gotta be Chris Daines.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been playing well. He's taken over Santos. He got his strategy right, and he's racing like a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's now, what, 6 seconds up the road?
Yeah.
He's pulled out an absolutely incredible gap here as Daines, so he's absolutely flying. Watson now, though, the problem for Watson is he's got Gardner a second in front, and he's got Williams about half a second behind, so he needs to either get a wriggle on, otherwise poor old Adam Watson there is going to be dropping further down the order. Don't forget, at one point he'd come out in third place from his pits and then ended up down the order, currently in sixth. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that would come into it, you know, unless he's picked up damage on that Merc that we're not seeing. But at the moment, Williams sector times from Watson, you know, Williams is still a little bit, he's 2 times quicker in sector 1. Yeah, Williams is like 9,000ths of a second in sector 2. But Williams got to keep pushing it, because we've still got 9:24 on the clock. So there's still a chance he's going to get this position.
There's not a chance to relax, even if you're Chris Daines. I mean, we got leading the classes right now. We got Chris Daines, Oliveira, and Stock. Oliveira taking back over Hedgecock. Always on target. Hedgecock maybe slipping a little bit. And if you want to talk about achievements, we got to talk about Nigel Stock. He's been racing for 5 years at the ripe old age of 32. He's been great championships in the Nxtgen and Crest Autosport I've put on, and he's been competitive for a while now. So Nigel Stock definitely doing some good racing going on.
Yeah,
playing his heart out.
He's been around, he knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? He's no slouch either. You know, he's sitting in about a 1600 I rating at the moment for Crest Autosport. And at the end of the day, what Nigel, Watson.
Ooh, Watson,
that was wide. Wide. And that is one funky way of letting through Gaz Williams into 6th place. Now, I'm not going to say that's tactical. No, I don't think it was he can't tactics that. Unless he sat back.
This could be an issue in terms of endurance, James. He could be feeling a little bit of fatigue there, maybe. Because we've got 8 minutes left. We've been racing for 52 minutes now. Maybe that could be taking a toll on Watson. Maybe
the thing is as well, the problem is as well, is obviously he came out in 3rd place at the pits. He managed to hold on to 3rd. And now he's dropped down the order to 7th. If it is fatigue, he needs to seriously go away and think about, you know, I don't know, whatever they need to do to gain over the fatigue situation, so they're not sort of having this having these issues, because obviously that's a terrible drop so far. He's down 4 positions already. Hedgecock is still climbing all over the back here of Oliveira. Oliveira currently in 1st in silver, 12th overall. And he's not letting up on Hedgecock. Hedgecock there has really got his work cut out for him. So
Exactly.
we'll have to kind of
Always
see
on
what
target,
time.
Hedgecock.
Yeah, we have to see how he pans out.
It's going to be tight though. 7 minutes is not a lot of time.
No, it's about 5 laps.
Yeah, around about
One
that.
and a
I
half,
think
3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5
5 or
laps.
6.
Yeah, 5 a lap.
It looks like Spock and Doherty are going to be fighting a little bit towards these last 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Sykes and Simon
McCluskey.
going to be fighting for 19th as well.
Yeah, McCluskey and Martello were right up there, about half a second. Well, not even that. 1/10 back at the moment. Martello in the Porsche, McCluskey in the Mercedes. I think the thing here for McCluskey is how he drives this last 6 minutes. He can either be mega defensive on this run down into turn 10. You know, they haven't got the chicane, which is that just gone past it on the right hand side. That is, well, one hell of a corner with that chicane intact, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that chicane is insane.
Yeah.
I would not want to be racing on that chicane.
No, that's where I did the GT3 and the officials here with that chicane, and it was incredible. Tight all the way around, but McCluskey now has got to be whether or not he's going to be looking at trying to hug at the inside. But it could be that Martello might get him on this run now as they've gone on to the start-finishing straight, Matt.
Exactly. I mean, the draft's going to have an effect here. And we go on to turn 1, the dreaded turn 1, which has seen many a driver get overtaken. But I think if I was McCluskey here, I think I'd want to be playing defensive. I mean, obviously, there's a 7-second gap between McCluskey and Pironi right now. Getting that up in 5.5 minutes is not going to be easy, or even, maybe not even possible. I'm not sure, James.
No, I think the interesting thing here is Simon, Daniel Simon behind in the Mercedes, which is behind this Porsche, was being lapped, and I think that probably saved McCluskey here from the ever-looming Porsche front of Martello, which is right behind the car number 122. You can see it closing and closing and closing on us. So from his point of view, I think he's just got to kind of drive his heart out over the next 4 and change of time.
Yeah. 5 minutes, roundabout. Not a lot of time. A third of the time that you'd see in the sprint. Benjamin McCluskey, he's playing a good defensive game, but he's got to really tighten up if he wants to stay ahead of Martello. Pironi 2 seconds ahead, 2 seconds behind Watson. Sorry, McCluskey 10 seconds behind Watson. Dadswell 5 seconds behind Danes. It's looking like Danes almost going to lap Jamie Dory down there 23rd. He did rejoin the race in the end.
Yeah, well, he's already gone past, I can tell you now, he's gone past Dory, he's gone past Baker, he's gone past Baz Meacham, and he's gone past Simon in 20th. That's the blue on the timing tower on the left-hand side is the lapped cars. I can tell you how far he's gone past 4 seconds up the road from Sykes. So Sykes looks like he's been lapped as well. How is Albanese doing? Albanese is surviving. Currently not been lapped at the moment, but I believe Sykes has. Samuel Oliveira and Adam Hedgecock here, side by side. 3 minutes on the Hedgecock's got the inside. Hedgecock's got the inside to turn 1 as he comes down now, and Hedgecock is going to be through. You can't leave the door open because Oliveira is going to be looking at trying to bring that Merc up. Nope. Job done for Adam Hedgecock. Fair play to you. Santos now is under attack from Fletcher, and Fletcher has had a incredible run through the field, up 5 positions there, Matt, and is now climbing all over Santos with about 3:18 on the clock.
What a run by Fletcher. 3:18 is not a lot of time. He can still do it. They're pretty close, 2 tenths away. It's not gonna be easy for Santos to defend this against Fletcher. Fletcher, a very talented driver, and the likes with Danes and Dadswell. It's going to be pretty tight.
Yeah, Santos is taking the inside line. That's going to force Fletcher wide. Now, for what Fletcher's got to do here is as Santos goes in, Fletcher's got to either kind of let him take the hit. There you go. There's the cutback. Fletcher now needs to get that BMW right up beside him as much as he can to get this inside run. Santos is going to have it on the left as they go around Coca-Cola, but Fletcher's got to try it again. He's got to let Santos get that line and then try and cut that cutback. Santos was kind of offline further back, but he's kind of allowed Santos to recover here, and Santos now keeps hold of the position and into the hairpin they go.
Great defensive play there by Santos, not letting Fletcher get the tactics he wanted. Fletcher 0.4 seconds behind now, 2 minutes remaining. They might get one more lap out. Fletcher's got a mountain to climb to try and take over Santos, but anything is possible in these races, James.
Yeah, the front end of that portion went up in the air again now, and Santos has been here before. Don't hit that sausage curve there, young sir.
We do not want a repeat of history this close to the end of the race.
No, because you will fly up in the air. Now, Danes is on 1:45 on the clock. It's going to be looking, I think this is going to be the final lap of the race for Chris Danes. Here we go.
What a race by Danes.
Oh, he's done
flying.
Incredible. He's done absolutely amazing.
Full 5 seconds ahead of Dadswell.
Yeah, and Dadswell now is coming past as well. McCluskey is going to be coming up around the last corner as well. He's going to be looking at taking the white flag. Dadswell is now into second place. Fletcher's now into third place, sorry, and got past Santis. So there we go.
What a turn by Fletcher.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 minute remaining.
Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it on the last lap, right?
Exactly.
You know,
what a time. Fletcher, I feel like maybe Fletcher got a little bit of theatrics going on there. Right on the last lap. He thought, you know what, I'll take over.
It's all for the race, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's all
and as
for
we
the
were
race.
talking, Papiola taking over Martello. Sykes taking over Meacham. I believe Hedgecock and Olivier are staying where they are. And everything else stayed pretty much the same. Watson's in 7th.
The only other battle might change might be this Watson and Perone battle. Now,
we got to hope for Watson.
Yeah, I've got to hope for Watson. I really have.
I mean, Watson's had an absolute war going on with every driver he's come across. He's fighting his life out. We got to hope he can stick it throughout through his last lap. There's not much left. Chris Danes now on the straight to end it.
I think this is going to be it over and done with, if I'm not mistaken. Time is not on his side. So this should be Chris Danes. Are we going on to the...
Is it?
No,
Are we going
it's white.
We're
going white. He caught it. We're going white flag now. So this is the final lap of the race. Tom Berwick will work back and say final lap of the race. Perone and Watson. Watson's got in. I don't think, do you know the problem is, I don't think many people were expecting this because I wasn't expecting this either. I thought that was, I didn't think that was. And if Watson may have got that wrong, that could be for fuel.
Yeah. On the final lap.
Final lap of the race. Yeah, but if he's going to run out and not make it.
Exactly. He's kind of got to have to.
Yeah, you ain't got no choice. You know.
Papiola's coming up out of the straight. Watson hopefully trying to get ahead of him. It's looking like Papiola might overtake though.
Hold on. That, my dear, is a penalty for our own Adam Watson. That is a drive-through penalty for over the X limit, so over the incident limit that they have in the championship. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm rooting through. It's a 15X or 25X in the feature. Now, I don't think he's done 25X. I haven't got them down, but surely he wouldn't have done 25X already.
I mean, we'd have to go through the footage and count, but
yeah, I definitely.
That could be a penalty. That's gonna be disastrous
well,
for Watson.
It is a penalty, and he's out through now. But here is Chris Danes taking the victory in the feature.
There we go. Chris Danes taking number 1.
Yeah, we got it right this time.
We got it right. Dadswell coming in second. Fletcher's going to be coming up for third.
Yep.
Santis coming in fourth after starting in first, keeping first for the majority of the race. Unfortunately, just couldn't hold on to it after the pit lane. Gardner and Williams, 5th and 6th. We're going to see Peroni coming up in 7th. Not able to beat out Williams. And see, we're going to have a fight between McCluskey and Papiola coming in for 8th and 9th.
Yeah, McCluskey's clear. Papiola now goes into 9th place. That is not a good-looking car. That is an Audi. Who is that? Car number 29. Car number 29. Adam Watson. That's the Merc. What did you get up to that I have not seen?
Yeah, Hedgehog coming in 10th, by the way. Taking over Watson there. Watson coming in 12th. Olivier in 12th, probably. Apologies. Watson 11th.
What What's happened?
What is happening?
I don't know, because Watson went into the pits and he had a penalty. It looked like he had a drive-through, come out the other side, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not entirely sure.
He's gone. Hold on, I'm checking back through.
Well, while he's checking
He's gone into the pits there. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself now.
No, go ahead, feel free.
So he's gone into the pits there, and there's nothing after that. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, we'll just go with that.
Well, I mean, the race is over. You're getting your final table in, gents. That'll in just a second. We got Chris Danes coming in first. Clear winner by Chris Danes. Then we've got Dadswell, Mark Fletcher, and Rafael Santos taking up second, third, and fourth. Gardner, Williams, and Peroni taking up the next three spots, all in privateer. Then we've got Papiola for DRS Esports in ninth. Adam Hedgecock taking over Watson right at the end to get 10th. Adam Watson coming in 11th. We got Samuel de Oliveira coming in 12th, second in class. We got 13th for Paul Scott. Nigel Stark winning out in the bronze class, getting 14th there. Great race by Stark. Closely followed by Darren Doherty, Paul Williams, and Stefan Albanese. And here we're seeing Carbon Martello taking up the rear 18th. We got Mark Sykes 19th, Next Gen Racing, car number 666. We got Baz Meacham. We got Mark Baker, Daniel Simon, and obviously Jamie Dorey, both having quite a few incidents there in that race. Unfortunate for those two there.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that Sean Crowley Swash, I said Verano are the best before a wheel was turned. Yes, you did. You said the team Verano, so you didn't specify Danes. So let's give you we'll give you a little we'll give you a half a credit there, Sean. You didn't necessarily say it was going to be Chris Danes. You just classified the team. So technically, you were right, but 50% because you didn't say who it was or who it wasn't. That's my philosophy. I don't know, Sean.
Exactly.
You could be right, could be wrong. Who knows there as well? But absolutely, I'd say Altitude were the best on the night. See, now that's the thing, right?
I think so.
I think so as well. But then again, I suppose Hedgecock won his silver. Mark Fletcher went up all the way into third place. Watson had a somewhat up and down. Oh, excuse me.
Oh. Well, I mean, we've got to think about Dadswell as well, climbing a mountain there.
Yeah,
Dadswell climbing a mountain to get into second.
Exactly.
Great race by him.
Yeah, I think I'm there as well. I think a little bit of altitude may have been and done that as well. So, right, we've got some interviews waiting here as well for us. Let's see if I can.
Here we go.
Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
While we're waiting, let's hear some support in the chat for your favorite drivers, guys. Obviously, we saw Chris Danes taking the win there, but give us some support in chat. Who's your favorites? Light them up.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have Adam Hedgecock in as well with Mark Fletcher. It's not allowing me to move him, so I am going to just give him a message, and hopefully we'll be able to get Mr. Hedgecock in to the booth. He says,
Feels like you're physically pulling him right now.
I'm physically trying. There he is. There is our very own Mr. Hedgecock into the booth. Adam, how are you, sir?
Hi. Yeah, I'm tired. That race was hard.
Yeah, that probably didn't help from the little bit of rain delay we had in the middle.
Yeah, that was when you get in the zone.
Yeah.
To come out of that area and to have to refocus again, it takes a lot. But us professional athletes, we train for days like these.
Oh, I full on all that training, that mental preparation, that beer lifting. It must have been stressful on your body to have that break in the middle, Mr. Hedgecock. I tell you, how did you ever recover from that?
It was the extra protein in my curry before the race. That's what it was.
Was it? Yeah, that was it. But tell us, were we on target, sir?
To be honest, I didn't know where I was going to be today because, you've seen some of my races before. Like I'm not as quick as a lot of the guys here. So, and I was originally in gold. So I'd have been, I think I was still a second and a half slower than them a lap. So I'd have been a long way behind. And during the media sort of practice yesterday, I was in the Ferrari, and that was way off the pace as well. So I came in the BMW not really knowing what my target was. But it turns out that 2 wins was my target, apparently, because we hit it.
Apparently.
Well, look, at the end of the day, mate, you know, you've had an absolutely barnstorming evening. Great start to the season. Off to Road America. You know, the first of the endurance races. If we're doing that, how are you gonna get ready for that?
I might have a Chinese takeaway, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
A little nap in
Chinese.
the afternoon.
You got to get the duck pancakes if you're going for Chinese. I mean,
Oh, ducks are expensive now, man.
Yeah, mate.
I
Come
mean,
on, Jesus.
they still taste good, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't, mate, but have you not seen the news? You know what I mean? Price
I mean,
hikes of food.
if you're going for an endurance race, you got to splash out if you want to get them good times. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Oh, of course, it's an endurance next time, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
gonna
what,
be
I
it
just said to you. How are you?
Sorry, I'm buzzing, mate. I've not won anything in ages. The last time I won anything was like £2 on a scratch card. So
Hey.
I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm not really paying attention to what's going on.
All right, well, there you go. I'll tell you what then. We'll let you go and pay attention to somewhere. And as per normal, Mr. Adam Hedgecock, congratulations on your evening of wins. And we'll see you next week in Road America.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cheers, James. Cheers,
Have a
mate.
good one.
Cheers,
Hedgehog.
Right. Hold on. Adam, jump out for me. Thanks.
There we go.
Thanks, boss. Right, so let's see if we can now get somebody else into the booth this evening, and maybe we'll have to give him a little bit. Let's see if I can get Mark Fletcher.
Go on, Fletcher.
Let's see if I can get them into the booth. There you go. Somebody. Right. Let's see if I can. No, I can't still physically move these gentlemen. So
While we're waiting.
while we're waiting, you know.
Didn't you promise us some karaoke, James?
No, I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did.
I think we should be hearing some karaoke soon, James.
Tom, first time watching good racing footage and commentary. Well done. Thank you very much for that there.
Oh,
As we are
thanks,
now
bud.
joined in the booth by Mark Fletcher. Mark, how are you, young sir?
Tired after that. That was pretty intense. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, looked at it.
Yeah, you had somewhat of a I must climb a mountain in the feature race. You know what I mean? You stellar through that the second race.
Yeah, I hit the I think I hit the curb on the inside, and it bounced the car a really weird angle. Luckily, I managed to keep it out of the wall, and then the old red mist descended pretty fast, and it was just a case of pulling my way through, and thinking it's a long championship, and we've got to go from here, really.
Well, you've got to try and get as many your maximum points that you can in the 2 races, right? Which is fair. Third in the sprint, third in the feature. Now that's not a bad haul of points in the first round, and I also believe you got the fastest lap in the feature race on a 1:32.49.
Me and Tom were laughing about this because obviously me and Tom raced for the same team, and I was like, right, I'm going to beat your fastest lap on the last lap. He's like, not a chance. He's like, you're not doing it, and I got him.
Yeah,
got him. That's a bit of team credit.
Well, at the end of the day, look, points are points, right? And you've gained an extra one there as well. The thing is, we go to Road America, full endurance, 2 hours long. How are you going to cope with that?
Yeah, I think a completely different race. That one, I mean, Chris was absolutely gone. It just shows once you managed to break the toe, he was gone, and you can't fault the guy. Nobody could catch him this evening. So, but yeah, we've done a bit of testing around Road America in other series. The BMW is quick, but yeah, it's all going to be about keeping it on the road, which I didn't successfully do in the feature race.
Look, you've got third place. You battled your way back through. And I personally think you've had a stellar evening of racing, Mark. You know what I mean? What more could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, fastest lap. You had some good overtakes. Pretty good all over.
It's definitely worth another watch, isn't it? That's what we'll take from this.
Yeah. Watch, review, and see how you go. How about that?
That sounds like a great idea to me. And yeah, see you guys at Road America next week for hopefully some more good
We'll see
racing.
you next
Absolutely,
week.
Mark. You take care.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate
Have
it.
a good one.
Bye. Right. There we
That
go.
was Mark Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, now we've got our winner and still can't pull into the booth is Chris Danes. Hopefully Chris will see that message as well, and he'll come and have a chat with me about his victory as well. You know, so look, at the end of the day, I think Chris has just done an exceptional job this evening. You know, he got his pit strategy right. He got his 6 seconds right. He got the gap that he needed. And here he is, sitting in the booth as the feature winner. Chris, welcome in.
Thank you very much.
Well,
really good race, Chris. I mean, obviously you secure those 25 points for the league there after winning the feature. Do you think your pit lane strategy was the main thing that got you over the line there?
Fuel saving. I'm quite good at fuel savings. That's the one thing I've got in my arsenal, which I pride myself in having. So it was a matter of fact of not pushing through the field too quickly, not burning the tyres up, because the Porsche notoriously has quite a bit of understeer. So we took a time and fuel saved as much as we could, and I knew come the end of the race it would come to me. So I thought if I could eke out the extra lap, then obviously I could put in a few litres less and get out in front and maintain that gap.
Interesting. I mean, it seemed to work out for you. I mean, you kept first place in the lap pretty much after that pit lane. You kept it pretty tight as well. So it's looking like a pretty good race there for you. Hoping to kind of emulate that in the endurance race, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sprint racing has never been my forte. So obviously, race one for me was just a matter of trying to salvage as many points as I could, because the altitude esports guys are so fast. And even in the endurance race there, if they, if Mark hadn't made that mistake in front of me, he probably would have run away with it, to be all honest. But that's racing for you, and you've got to sort of take the opportunities when they arise. So I'll happily take the 25 points.
Exactly. I mean, there's a pretty stellar race from you and Ayama. So just got to hope that Road America. You got anything to say, James?
No, Chris, how are you approaching Road America, mate? First endurance?
Terribly. I'm not keen on that track at all. So it's a 2-hour race. Next race, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So. Yeah. So no, actually, as long as I can do my fuel saving like I did today and keep doing what I'm doing, it will come in. The Porsche comes into play after about 20, well, more like 15 laps. It tends to sort of liven up a bit more. First few laps of the Porsche are tricky, but it is a car that consistently can keep pumping in the lap time. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful for a podium finish.
Okay then, mate. Well,
Awesome.
Congratulations on your feature win, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you next week, guys.
See you later.
See you next week, Chris.
Right, so next into the booth when they want to jump in is Mr. Gareth Gaza Williams. Here tonight is going to come and join us and have a chat in the booth, and we'll then after that we'll have Rafael De Santis if he's sat there, if they're not having a conversation between the two of them, or if they're sitting there waiting to jump in. So let's see who will come and join us first in the booth tonight for the other interviews. But I think it's kind of important that we must realise that obviously, these guys have been through a lot tonight. There was a delay in the middle that didn't help. The technical issues was an absolute killer. That technical issues was an absolute killer. So hopefully, these guys would have recovered and got on with it, as well as we're joined in the booth by Rafael Santis. Rafael, how are you?
Yeah, I mean, a bit disappointed about the ending, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Okay.
I mean,
tell us from your perspective, how did the ending go? What happened?
I mean, it was a really good battle at the end. I don't know if you guys caught it, but yeah, it was really good and had a lot of fun there. But unfortunately, I locked up the brakes a bit. Well, it's ABS, so yeah, I went into too much ABS and I went wide, and I tried to carry more speed, but I went a bit too wide, and then I got the slowdown, and that was basically my race. Well, third place.
All in all, though, look, you've had 2 races tonight. Yes, we had a big long delay in the middle, which didn't help anyone. Don't get me wrong. But overall, your evening itself, how did you feel it went in general?
No, it was really fun because the last time I did a league race, it was in F1 2020, so it's a while ago. But yeah, it was fun to also with a few friends of mine to do more league races again, and yeah, definitely looking forward to the next round.
Next round, you got 2
Excellent.
hours.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour endurance race. How are you feeling about that?
I have a lot of confidence in my endurance capabilities, I would say, but yeah, I mean, the Porsche looks a little bit off pace, I would say, but maybe that's just me. And also, I didn't really have that much practice for this round because I popped in last second. And yeah, I'll definitely have a bit more practice, but yeah, should be good.
Okay,
Nice.
mate. Well,
I mean,
all in all, you've not had an absolute bad evening of racing. I've got to be honest. We missed obviously the slowdown and locking up at the end there as well. We were also concentrating on the leaders. But look, dude, you got a week. You sit back, chill out, recover, go and do some practice at Road America for the 2-hour endurance, and then next week we'll see you come out and smash it.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be a bit more, especially in the sprint race, I'll be a bit more lucky with that one.
Yeah. Absolutely there, buddy. Well, you take care, Rafael, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there we go. That was Rafael
Thank you very much.
Santos in the booth this evening with us tonight. Matt, sum tonight's race up in 1 sentence.
Pretty entertaining and a lot of crashes.
Well, there you go. Pretty entertaining and a lot of crashes. So there we go, guys. That brings us out to the end of the broadcast this evening. So really, all that's left for me to say is from myself and Matt, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.